Ho-hum, just another spectacular day. Anna Maria Island here in Bradenton, Florida, where the sun is shining once again. It's the 50th St. Patrick's Day for the Pirates here in the Friendly City as the Bucks host the Minnesota Twins. Grapefruit League action continues. Yes, it's spectacular. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, and are we lucky? Once again, the great Doc Emmerich is with us, the Hall of Fame and national voice of hockey. Doc, thanks so much for coming in on your day off.
It's always fun to be with you guys, and especially on St. Patrick's Day, I get to be with my old manager here from Fantasy Camp. I get to sit with you. And Vin Scully, when he was asked what the most important development in sportscasting was in the 20th century, said, "The yellow highlighter, I stole yours." So now I am set.
We are set. And Rock, the Pirates, well, they're just about set in terms of their roster. We still have less than 2 weeks to go. And I think Chad Kuhl on the mound today wants to show something because he's struggled the last couple times out.
Yeah, he hasn't had his best stuff, but we saw what he's capable of last year. I think he's going to get better this year, but he does. I think today, I think it's important for him just to get the confidence going, be the aggressive guy he was a year ago, and mow down maybe not the Twins starting lineup, but I'm sure he wants to come out and do a good job.
The Pirates and the Minnesota Twins. Greg Brown with Doc and Rock on St. Paddy's Day, coming your way from Lecom Park. The luck of the Irish? Yep, everybody's Irish today. Pirates Twins coming up next.
Sportsnet is brought to you by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. And by UPMC, making life-changing medicine happen. Let's go Bucks!
And a lot of folks wearing the green, of course, here in Bradenton Lecom Park, ready to play ball as the Pirates and Twins meet. Game number 22 on the 33-game Grapefruit League schedule for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it is just another beautiful day. We had a little bit of a cold spell, but now that is Irish.
Everybody is today. I'm looking for the arrival of the umpires. I wonder if they're going to do anything special, or if the league, in all of its staid normalcy, has decided, okay, no, you guys are going to wear the normal uniform.
That would be great. Have them come out in green. As you can see, and as you know, watching this game in the Pittsburgh area, it is cold there. So we're bringing a little bit of the warmth to you, and it's really an enjoyable day for us. It's become an annual event, and we can't thank him enough for Doc Emmerich to sit in the booth with us, as it is a day off for Doc. He has become a season ticket holder here at Lecom, so his brother is now down behind the dugout, keeping Doc's seat warm for him today. But Doc, we're anxious to talk to you throughout the day to get your thoughts on the Pirates, of course, the Pens, and the state of the NHL. The Pens look like they're trying to make a third straight run at that cup. They're amazing. And the Pirates, there are a lot of doubters, but we've talked to, including Tom Prince, the bench coach, yesterday about this gigantic chip on the collective shoulders of the Pirates, and that might be a good thing.
Yes, it is. It happens a lot in hockey, and let's face it, it is March. Everybody's 0-0. And so those of us who feel that the glass of water in any phase of life is half full and not half empty, we're always looking for things that we can latch on to and say, hey, let's just see what happens, and that's one of these things now. And a big day for this guy, as Rock pointed out earlier, number 39 going out there. Isn't it interesting? I was reading something by Jason Dill today in the Bradenton Herald about the number 39 and how he was reluctant to take it because it was Dave Parker's number. And maybe this will be something we can talk about later, but we were learning about the Rock's history of numbers with Pittsburgh as well as with the Marlins, and how his number came about and how he lost it and then got it back again in the various ups and downs of being a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. But Chad decided when he came here that he wasn't too sure about accepting 39 because it was such a hallowed number in the past. But he needs to be a part of this rotation and needs to be a great contributor here.
Yeah, he really does, and he was a big contributor his first full year in the big leagues last year, and the hope is that he takes another step forward. He and Trevor Williams. We know Jamison Tyone, Rock, we saw him yesterday. Doc, you saw him pitch. In fact, you were at Clint Hurdle's post-game press conference, and he was effusive in his praise for Jamison Tyone. And Tyone himself said it might have been the best 3 innings, how good he's felt maybe in his career.
He's been outstanding, and we all know the pedigree and the stuff that he has, and we saw it the first half of last year, and struggled a bit after he came back down the stretch, a couple of starts in particular, but you know, he has top of the rotation stuff. And the one thing you could say about this entire rotation, it's very talented. They're all very capable. They're young, but they've gained a lot of experience last year, like Chad Cole and Tyone and Trevor Williams. And so you got to expect big things from them. And the 2 other guys, Musgrove, we saw him the other day in Tampa. He got his first start. Power arm, looked very impressive. And then you have Ivan Nova that we've seen have great success. So you can have all the naysayers you want. I mean, you can't convince any of these guys in the dugout or the clubhouse that they're not big league players. And so I like the look at of the lineup. Again, it's all going to come down to the starting pitching and how well they do. And again, they are all capable of winning every time they take the ball. But I think a guy like Colin Moran, who you see there, is going to be a big boost to this offense, a left-handed bat that can hit, not just for average, but with power. Dickerson in left field, power, average, an all-star. A full year of Polanco, Marte. Cervelli looks healthy. Josh Bell, you expect to get better. So, yes, you do have some promising signs here. It might be not household names outside of Pittsburgh, but these guys are going to prove that they're capable big leaguers.
Josh Bell among those talented players. Interesting that Colin Moran is out there exchanging the lineup cards. I guess that's a nice little touch there by Clint Hurdle. Who better on St. Patrick's Day to hand out the lineup card to the umpires who are wearing the green caps?
I think that's
Colin
just
Moran. Nice touch.
Isn't it just human of them to be allowed to do that?
That's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So they're not all bad,
That's
are
right.
they?
That's right. They are good guys. Phil Cuzzy will be the home plate umpire, and the bases will be patrolled by Chris Siegel, Tom Hallion, and Will Little. Paul Molitor, the Hall of Famer, surprised everybody last year. The Twins had a 26-game improvement from 2016. They went to the postseason. for the first time in 6 years. They went 85 and 77, and you know, maybe an example for the Pirates and their fans of what can happen. That's a huge leap the Twins had from 2016 to 2017, but it can be done. It has been done. But yeah, it all does start with pitching, and Chad Kuhl, even though these games we keep talking about the Doc and Rock, that they don't mean anything. Clint Hurdle likes to say the games matter, but they don't count. Well, for a guy like Chad Kuhl, who will get a couple more starts before the bell rings opening day, he does want to end his last couple outings here on a feel-good note. Take a look at the Twins starting lineup, and a former Pirate minor leaguer, Robbie Grossman, will lead things off, be followed by Jorge Polanco. Miguel Sano missed yesterday's game with a knee issue, but he's back in there today. The third baseman, Brock Stassi, is the first baseman today. Mitch Garver behind the plate. Jake Cave is in center, with Chris Heisey, the veteran, as the DH, a non-roster invitee. Nick Gordon, D's younger brother, is at second base, and Lamont Wade is in left.
And Chad Kuhl, his fourth start of the spring. You see last year 8 and 11, a 435 earned run average, 142 punch outs, 157 in the third innings. And again, these games don't matter. These guys, especially the pitchers, are just trying to get their pitch count up. But you know, Chad Kuhl was not happy with his last time out. 2 1/3, 8 runs and 7 hits with 3 walks against the Baltimore Orioles. So he wants to get on track here this afternoon.
The Honda defense, and David Freese will play third with Sean Rodriguez at short. Adam Frazier, Jose Osuna on the right side. Todd Cunningham, a non-roster invitee, is in center. His wingers are Jordan Luplow and Bryce Brentz, with Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. As is customary, he greets both benches and the umpire, in this case Phil Cuzzy. And ready to go with Robbie Grossman stepping in and ready to play ball here at Lecom on St. Patrick's Day. Chad Kuhl, this is his fourth start of the spring. Last time out, 8 runs in 2 1/3 innings against the Orioles down in Sarasota.
You know, you watch the draft every year, and you remember when Grossman actually was drafted by the Pirates back in '08, but some time in Houston, and this is his 3rd year in Minnesota. One of the varsity players that we get to see today.
And Grossman figures to be part of the club, and the team begins the season in Baltimore on the 29th. The Pirates will be in Detroit to start the season. Of course, the opener against these Twins. The Twins will be the Pirates' opponent on April the 2nd at PNC Park. 1-2 on the switch hitting Robbie Grossman.
Now, do I have it right? I was hearing you say that Tyone will be the starter on that day, home opener against the Twins.
Nova in Detroit and Tyone in Pittsburgh. Yeah, good work there, and strikes such a key for Chad Kuhl.
One of the things I recall about a year and a half ago was it was said that he had trouble with left-hand batters. Certainly didn't have trouble with that one, but that's an easy thing to say about a right-handed pitcher, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, well, with Chad Kuhl, I mean, he's a power arm. He especially last year, I think he really relied on the fastball, and the majority of the time he threw fastballs, and mostly fastball slider. And to really, I think, have success against lefties you'll find at the big league level, I think you have to have a changeup, and just to keep them off balance, because they recognize spin. The breaking ball breaks into them, so they're less likely to chase out of the zone like a righty would. And so you need something else to attack lefties. If you know the left-handed batter knows a fastball is coming, regardless of the velocity, they'll be able to catch up to it. And so I think, to be able to throw a changeup now and again to a lefty, I think is important for just about every right-handed starter.
It was also interesting to hear Jameson Tyone's take after the game yesterday. He said he was really happy that the Braves stacked the deck against him with all those left-handed hitters. 7 of the 8 position players against Tyone were lefty hitters. He said, that's something I really wanted to work on. mainly coming in on those lefties with the fastball. And a ground single to right center for Jorge Polanco.
I'm really glad that was a telecast yesterday, so a lot of people could see that dominant performance, because that was smoke, and I could watch as they could and see what was coming in. It was 96, 97, and a perfect 3 innings. And Clint Hurdle said afterwards, he said it was a good thing that he had a little adversity in the 4th inning, because it made him work harder. And working hard was a good thing for him after he had those first 3 innings. He made it look easy. And at the major league level, when you make it look easy, that means everything you've got's working great. And it was.
So encouraging. Taillon went 5 innings, gave up 1 run on 1 hit. And Doc talking about that adversity he faced in the 4th inning. He got out of it with a fly ball to shallow left, and then a 1-2-3-5 to finish up his afternoon. Miguel Sano, 28 home runs last year. Big third baseman. Oh, there's a fly ball to left, and he just missed sending this one a very long way. That's a big bat for the Twins. With Brock Stassi stepping in, we step back and look at Jameson Taillon yesterday. Brock?
That big curveball of his, plus the velocity, and you know, he can locate, he can dominate, he can overpower. The curveball at times just unhittable, and yesterday was one of those times. And you talk about pitchers pitching with traffic. I think it's always important. I mean, you have to be at your best with runners on base, runners in scoring position, and I think Jameson Taillon has shown us in the past that, you know, he almost elevates his game in those situations. We've seen him get out of so many jams where there's runners on second or third, with nobody out or 1 out, and he's able to ramp it up and get that big strikeout.
Cervelli tries to catch Polanco napping, and Jose Osuna has to pick that throw out of the dirt.
Took a throw over there. Nice little pick over there by Jose.
He's having a good spring again.
Those of us in the fan population listen to you guys on the internet, games, and as best we can watch on TV or from hotel rooms on our computers. And we read too. And one of the quotes about Taillon was from Francisco Cervelli, one of the smartest guys I've ever met. Now, Francisco's been around.
Yeah.
And smarts don't hurt you when you have the tools like a guy 6'8", or 6'5" rather, in 230.
Right, and you know, it's going to just get better, and I'm sure they all love throwing to Francisco Cervelli, and you know, he's a student, he's back there, and always thinking, always. This will be an interesting year too with the whole
how they split the duties behind the plate.
That for one. The second thing is the communication, because we know Cervelli's one of those guys that like to go to the mound often and discuss things and come up with a game plan, especially in those bigger situations with runners on base.
And limiting those trips to the mound by the catchers throughout baseball, just 6 trips for 9 innings for position players and for coaches. And Cervelli talked about publicly after that rule came down by Major League Baseball that not thrilled with it. A line drive out. Now scoreless first for Chad Kuhl. We're underway at Lecom. Patrick's Day. Check out the RAV4 Pirates starting lineup. Adam Frazier, look at that spring. 11 out of 27, a .407 batting average. Francisco Cervelli will hit second. You can see Clint Hurdle kind of toying with who he's going to hit second this season. David Freese will bat third. Then it's Jose Osuna and Sean Rodriguez. Jordan Luplow is the left fielder. Bryce Brents, Todd Cunningham, Chad Kuhl. The Pirates starting 9 against veteran Phil Hughes.
What do you think, sirs, of Mr. Dickerson in that second spot?
Yeah, it's really curious. We've seen him try Dickerson. I kind of like Dickerson. We've seen him try Colin Moran, Jordy Mercer a couple times, Marte. I'm not sure what to think of who would be best suited for second.
Well, obviously Dickerson had hit the top of the lineup a bunch last year for the Rays.
Yeah, actually hit leadoff a handful of times.
And so obviously you guys at the top, you want on base. I think the most important thing for this club, because I thought it was a weakness last year, is who's hitting in the middle of the lineup. Who's going to drive in the runs. And I think, you know, the guys that are capable of driving in runs and getting the big hits in big situations, I think that's maybe the most important thing as far as this club scoring runs.
Brings up Francisco Cervelli. He faces Phil Hughes. Like Cervelli, a former Yankee, they were battery mates a few years ago in pinstripes, and Phil Hughes signed a big contract coming into the 2014 season. It looked like a great deal when he went 16-10, but he's had some injury issues, limited to just 9 starts last season. Had that thoracic outlet syndrome issue. A couple years ago had surgery on that. July of 2016, had a part of his rib removed to relieve nerve pressure on the shoulder, and it cropped up again last season. Phil Hughes hoping to have a healthy year, much like the man at the plate, Francisco Cervelli.
And Cervelli's been looking pretty healthy this spring so far, and hitting well and hitting with a little more thump. Big home run the other day in Tampa.
Drives one.
What did you say?
Center field. What did you say, Rock? Yep. A little more thump.
You said they were battery mates, right?
Yeah. Maybe a little familiar with Mr. Hughes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is good to see. And Cervelli's home run the other day, the first of any kind since July of last year. And you can tell how much it meant to him. And there is that thump, Rock.
That's the thump. That's staying inside the ball and creating backspin. A lot of guys look to pull that pitch. A lot of times they'll hit a ground ball to the left side, but showing that thump. And it was a bomb the other day, too, and into the wind a little bit.
Freeze set down by Polanco.
But just a couple of singles this spring for Cervelli, but you like to see now that his second home run, 3 doubles, so he has been driving the ball.
As I recall, those 3 doubles all occurred in 6 at-bats over the weekend, last weekend.
Yeah. And you remember Cervelli's first year as a Pirate. I mean, he showed that ability to drive the ball in the gap, hit the occasional home run. He stayed healthy, and it wasn't quite there last year, but man, what a great start for him, feeling great at the plate.
Jose Osuna, .333 average this spring. Led the Grapefruit League in hitting last year, for what it's worth, hit .407. And of course, when Starling Marte was suspended in mid-April, the Pirates called up Jose Osuna from AAA Indy. That is way up there. That is not an easy catch, but Garver grabs it. Rock in mid-season form. Says Cervelli, show a little more pop. Next swing, 1-0.
On here at Lecom Park in Bradenton. I'm Robbie Mikowski. Well, last year was a really good year for Pirates affiliates, especially in central Pennsylvania, where the Altoona Curve won the 2017 Eastern League Championship. And today, before the game, they received their rings. The Curve went 6-0, perfect in the playoffs last season. They swept the Bowie Bay Sox and then swept the Trenton Thunder in the finals for their first Eastern League Championship since 2010. Michael Ryan is the manager of that team, and I asked him about it. He said, hey, we were talking about this on the bus. This may be the last time we ever ride together on a bus. And if that's the case, what a run they had, guys. And how about that? Kevin Kramer, Kevin Newman, Mitch Keller among those guys. And tomorrow, we're going to see Mitch Keller pitch here for the Buccos at Lecom Park. How about that?
That'll be fun. Mitch Keller, one of the top prospects in the Pirates organization. In fact, the top coming into the season. Congratulations to Michael Ryan, Indiana native, who helped lead the Curve to that Eastern League Championship. And a great photo. The champion Curve. AA affiliate of the Pirates.
AAA had a good run last year too, getting into their playoffs.
It's a thing, Doc and Rock. Take a look at some of these guys, former Curve product and Chad Cole. Many of these players have kind of grown up together, and they've been winners in the Pirates minor league system. So always a good thing.
You always think of the minor leagues winning secondary, but don't tell the players that. I mean, it's about development and everything else. But yeah, you want to compete, you want to win, want to get used to it.
See Osuna.
Want to take that to the next level, to the ultimate level.
Mitch Garver, a 3-2 count. Sean Rodriguez. What a story he is. As Mitch Garver grounds out on the 3-2 pitch. Rodriguez has been playing all over the place for Clint Hurdle this spring. A handful of games at short. He's been in left, center, right, third. What an enjoyable spring for him. Tyler Glass now. We will see him back on the mound tomorrow. Jake Cave starting in center field. Byron Buxton did not make the trip, the starting center fielder. Cave hit .324 in the minors last season.
Well, you know, it's not about me, but it's about Pirate fans, I hope. But one of my greatest memories last year was your call of that 12th inning home run that Sean hit against San Diego. First game back, of all things, and he walks it off.
It still gives me goosebumps.
God bless him. Yeah, it does me too.
But because of it is just a remarkable story. A year ago, I mean, he was involved in that car crash, and I know a lot of Pirate fans have heard the story by now. But you know, here he and his wife and two of their 4 children are driving in the Miami area, and somebody steals a police cruiser, goes through a red light, and T-bones Rodriguez's SUV. The police cruiser bursts into flames. The driver of the cruiser is killed, and Sean Rodriguez and his family suffer some serious injuries. They didn't think Rodriguez would return at all. The doctor said unlikely. His shoulder was ripped up, and his first game back after the Pirates reacquired him, he hits the home run. August 6th, our Day Automotive great day from last season. Doc, people have asked there are people, and it's understandable. There are a lot of cynics now after the moves that were made, and I've heard more than one Pirate fan say, well, give me a reason. Why should I come out? Well, those that were there at the ballpark last year at PNC Park got to witness just one of the most incredible moments we've seen in years with Sean Rodriguez and what he pulled off.
You know, we identify with guys, and hey, I miss Kutch. I miss Neil. guys come and go, and you hate it when they go. It hurts. But, you know, time passes, and it doesn't make any better. You miss those guys, but another team gets assembled, and you hope that people don't hold it against the team that much, but you understand how sometimes it rubs you raw and you don't come back right away. You understand that. But they are 0-0, and there's going to be an opening day, and the cynics will say, hey, Doc, forget it. I'm not coming back. Well, hey, give it some time, and maybe you will. But there are some reasons, and we're seeing one at shortstop right now, that you should come back, or at least give it some time and then come back. I'm sitting down from my soapbox, sorry.
But we'll be back. Up on that soapbox, I'll join you. 1-0 Pirates. Pirates lead the Twins. Great Brew League action from Lecom Park, and here is the man we're talking about a couple of moments back, Sean Rodriguez. Yep, you need that. Right sunshine. Perfect Steve Blast type floppy hat. Sean Rod, 0-2 count.
He too has shown some pop this spring. 3 homers.
Talked about that before. Don't forget, just a couple of years ago in 300 at-bats, hit 18 home runs. Called out on strikes and certainly not agreeing with Phil Cuzzy.
Looked a little up. And borderline corner.
Brock, how much has that changed since you came in? How much you're able to say? Was that the rule when you came in, or could you actually stand there and argue a little bit?
Yeah, I think you're always allowed to argue a little bit, as long as you don't show the guy up. I mean, you could voice your displeasure. I think if you hang around too long, that is frowned upon. But I think there's enough talk going on that nobody really knows, in the stands, or exactly what is said. But yeah, you can voice your displeasure, and I'm sure it's no different today than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Again, just speaking as a fan, I like Cervelli and Rodriguez for one reason, and it's not that the other guys don't care. It's just that when you wear your heart on your sleeve,
oh yeah,
people can identify with
sure.
that, because we're up there agonizing, and we've got emotion in it too. And when we see a guy like that has the same thing, we're with them. Yeah. And it's not like the other guys don't care. It's just when they don't show it as much, where you know, we don't identify with them as much as we do a guy like that. That's what made it so exciting to sit at home and see him hit that home run that day.
You love the outward passion, don't you?
And Jay Hayes another.
Yeah. Now, you had a chance to chat with him for a while today, didn't you?
That was fun. I had never met him before, but that's the one thing you offer me as a pass once a year to go down and actually meet these guys, and that was great fun. Told me about his two brothers. One's in the Arizona Diamondbacks system as a coach, and then his other brother, who actually I'm learning has designed his walk-up music.
Bryce Brent's almost robbed of a hit there by Miguel Sano. Base hit. Yeah, so his brother.
Yeah, Vincent is not only designs his walk-up music and is very talented that way, he's a barber. About 30 miles outside of Cincinnati, has a barber shop. Maybe he's got the game on today. So how do we look? Never mind this. These guys have hair. So we hope you're watching down there, Sir Harrison. Josh is not in the lineup today.
Getting a day off, but well, you described Doc, a guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve. That certainly describes Josh Harrison.
And there was another one last year, that no-hit breakup in the 10th inning.
Yep.
What a fun day that was.
Yep, great call. You're right. That's again, another example of, regardless of the end of season record, there are moments, unforgettable moments. That was one of the great pitching matchups. Trevor Williams kept the Dodgers off the board, and Rich Hill was no-hitting. First, it was a perfect game through 8, no-hitter intact through 9. And Josh Harrison broke up the no-hitter with the home run to win the game in the 10th. Todd Cunningham at the plate, non-roster invitee, signed a minor league free agent over the winter. Even the fans now are starting to get on Phil Cuzzy a little bit. See the reaction from Todd Cunningham, raising the eyebrows. Cunningham played in the Dodgers and Cardinals system last year in the minors. Well, Phil Hughes has struck out 3, all in that second inning. Pirates lead 1-0. Last year, and here it is, August 23rd. There's Jay Hay. 10th inning. Rich Hill was no-hitting the Pirates, and the walk-off home run. What a performance by Hill and the Pirates, and then Josh Harrison. Those emotions Doc Emmerich was talking about.
He broke up, did he not, a Justin Verlander
Yes.
no-hitter in the 9th?
Yes.
Was it the 9th or
Yep.
the 8th?
It was the 9th. I believe
inning.
one out in the 9th in Detroit. Guess it would have been his rookie year. Josh Harrison's rookie year. And the Pirates will open up now in less than 2 weeks in Detroit with, of course, out Verlander. He's no longer on the Tigers. They have been kind of trying to get things in shape, rebuild in Detroit. Nick Gordon against Chad Kuhl, this 22-year-old first-round pick 4 years ago. Orlando, Florida native, Nick Gordon. Second base, of course, will be patrolled by Brian Dozier again this year for the Twins.
Rock, raised in the Pittsburgh area, did you like the Yankees much?
No.
Did you,
no.
or were you ambivalent? Did you not care? Or?
I mean, yeah, I didn't really care. I mean, obviously, back in the day, you didn't get many games on TV, and so you saw them a bunch in the postseason or the game of the week or what have you. And I was a fan of some of their players, you know, Reggie Jackson, and probably the obvious one, but yeah, I wasn't a fan, or I didn't dislike them.
How about you, Doc?
Where's the telecast going? Well, I wasn't an American League fan that much, but raised where I was in Indiana, the White Sox and Tigers were nearby. So they weren't my favorites, but a lot of people from across the country loved the Twins last year in that one-game playoff. And when... It's pretty well hit.
Yeah, spanked by Gordon. A diving try. Cunningham can't get there. And D. Gordon, much like his brother, Nick Gordon, can run like D, and he's in there with a triple.
Surprised by the pop. I mean, that ball went a long way. Not a big guy, Nick Gordon. You see Todd Cunningham not playing that shallow, but he got a good jump, took a good angle, just hit well enough.
It's not surprising he got to third. Boy, he's built like a runner, isn't he?
Yes.
But when Dozier and Rosario homered in the first inning of that one-game playoff against the Yankees, you think, boys, we got him, right? If you're not a Yankees fan. But then you underestimate the Yankees, and they beat them 8-4. But what a start on the road at Yankee Stadium. You get 2 home runs in the first inning, and you're up 3-0 before they even get to bat.
Sounds like you're suggesting you kind of like that start. Again, regardless of where this telecast is going.
Greetings to all of you in the 5 boroughs today.
At some point,
and they are passionate fans.
Oh, yeah.
You got to love them
gosh.
for that.
Oh,
but at any rate, the Yankees took care of them in those one-game playoffs, which it's better than not being in the playoffs at all, but they sure can be curses, as we know. I've talked to several of the Penguins who, in some cases, have moved on to other teams. And Paul Martin was one of them who said he had never been in a louder crowd than at PNC the night that the Pirates played the Reds in that one-game playoff. And especially when the ball was dropped on the mound.
Oh, yeah. Johnny Cueto dropping the ball. October 1st, 2013. Sacrifice fly for Lamont Wade ties it. We heard recently Robbie and Smikowski was talking to new Pirate left-hander, the veteran Kevin Segrist, who pitched those playoff games that year against the Pirates with the Cardinals. And Rock, I think you were on the telecast. Segrist said that was the loudest atmosphere he'd been around. And of course, he was comparing it even to Busch Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible environment. I went to those games, and you know, and thanks to you, Doc, I've been to many sporting events, and thanks to you, the Stanley Cup playoffs and Steeler playoff games and Pirate playoff games. I've never been in an environment like that in my life. That was so much fun as a fan.
A little pop shot by Grossman will drop in for a hit.
And I'm guessing you had to work. Were you working?
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah.
I missed that one. Some of the greatest events of all times. And biology class in 1960. Had a night school class at Bowling Green in 71. Had a game with the Maine Mariners in 79. Just no luck.
For those who have not heard how you became a Pirates fan.
Bob Prince on radio, up and down the dial from the state of Indiana, and radio can make you a fan. It can change your life, and that's what it did a long time ago.
And that's such a great story. It is stuck with Doc Emmerich to the point where he was a fantasy camper a handful of years ago.
Played for the Rock. He batted me first.
How about that?
He had me as a leadoff man.
Knows he's going to get on base and steal bases. That's what you need.
Like Nick Gordon, you're built like a runner.
Pretty well hit.
Yeah. Oh, there's a nice play. Wow. That's a heck of a play by Cunningham to Rob Polanco.
Yeah, not a lot different than the fly ball hit by Gordon. This one, a little more air under it, so it gave Cunningham a little more time. But again, watch the jump. I mean, a great drop step and a perfect angle to this ball. And sliding there with his back to the infield, taking extra bases away.
Cunningham figures to provide some depth for the Pirates organization as an outfielder at AAA Indianapolis this year. He one time was named the top minor leaguer in the Braves organization not too long ago. Fairly close.
You guys have seen the flags more often than I pay attention to it, but yesterday they were blowing from left to right, and of course we saw 11 home runs and some of them wind aided. Today, right now it looks like it's going straight out, but then varying a little bit right to left. But is this strikes you as a pretty good home run day, perhaps?
Oh yeah, it's very helpful for the hitters to. Not that this guy needs help from the wind, although he did in batting practice. We just showed the flags. He hit one over the flags in batting practice today.
He did?
Hit one over that batter's eye. Hit one top of that scoreboard. Hit one over the bleachers and left. Yeah, he put on a display.
Ooh. So crowd him a bit. Miguel Sano had surgery in November, inserted a titanium rod in his lower left leg. They played the Red Sox last night down in Fort Myers. He was scratched with a bruised right knee. Paul Molitor said that Sano was a little concerned about playing through the soreness, maybe fearful that he would make it worse. But he thinks that Sano now feels reassured that he's not going to re-injure it by playing. You see a good look how strong this guy is. He was a youngster in the Dominican. The Pirates thought they had him. Felt like they had come to an agreement with his agent, his representative. That representative turned around and talked to the Twins and ended up signing with Minnesota. 28 home runs last year for Sano. That is spanked right at Cunningham. Well, some line drives off Cool, including the triple by Nick Gordon, and it's 1-1.
10 p.m., get $17 off tickets to any April game in select seating areas. Just use the code SHAMROCK. Take advantage of this great offer now at pirates.com/lucky. And that's today until 10 p.m. $17 off.
Oh, Faith and Bigora.
Very good.
Doc Emmerich. Oh, Emmerich.
We all are today.
Yeah, Chad Cool. Is it the green socks going there? Nice hat. Nice hats, plural. Big doings, of course, in Pittsburgh. One of the biggest St. Patty's Day parades in the country, taking place in the Burgh every year.
It is quite a party. We've been there when I worked with the New Jersey Devils. We always had a matinee on Saturday afternoon. Usually the parade was, what, 11 in the morning, something like that? Chico Resch and I got marooned one year trying to cross the street. And it would have broken up the parade. And we talked to a policeman on how we're going to get across the street. We've got a game. And he said, we have a parade. You may have a game. we have a parade.
And so you're marooned for a while.
Yeah, we had to figure out a way. I think we wound up going under the subway and up that side street there to get around it.
Like the green beer going, the beverages. 47 players have appeared in Major League Baseball who were born in Ireland. 8 were former Pirates or Alleghenies.
You're all over this. Do you have any recent names?
The most recent, Doc, and I've had this for years, by the way, this, not like I did extra prep today, so the most recent was a guy, I think, in 1908, Patty O'Connor.
He was the most recent.
I believe, 1908 through 1910. From County Kerry. And how about Chad Cool? And how about the pitchers? I don't know if you gentlemen have read recently about, and this is, Jameson Taillon, I think, was very respectful of Garrett Cole, kind of beating the leader and the ace, and understandably, kind of knew his place. But now that Cole's gone, it's almost like Taillon has decided, okay, now it's my staff, and just he's done little things like the Breakfast Club, where all the pitchers get together every morning, and they have breakfast together in a corner of the clubhouse, and they discuss more than just pitching. Might be movies or video games or breakfast cereals, whatever it might be. And at his behest, the pitchers want to take batting practice every day. Ball is dropped by Lamont Wade and bounces out of play, so it'll go as a double for Frazier if Jimmy Tredinich, the Pirates PR man, is gracious and doesn't charge Wade with an error.
He must not have saw that at all, and he's lucky it didn't hit him in the head.
Yeah.
A la Jose Canseco is, and normally you see guys shield their eyes and fight the sun. And he looked like he was going to catch it, and it just missed him.
So is that a Lee Comm, former McKechnie double, or just an error?
Well, most likely they're going to give it a double.
Yep. Now Francisco Cervelli, who homered over the center field wall his first time up. And toward right. And for the pitcher, Chad Cool, not going to risk it. He's going to draw the throw from Robbie Grossman. But these are moments, and we discussed this the other day, that even though the games don't count, they matter, according to Clint Hurdle. Well, and in these situations, you got to get that run home, at the very least.
Yeah, especially with the infield back. It's a situation where you want to try to stay on top of the ball. Now with one out, Paul Molitor is going to bring his infield in about halfway. And with the pitcher running at third, odds are you're not going to risk sending him on a ground ball. so they can afford to play back a little bit. But you were talking about pitchers hitting and taking batting practice. I mean, I think it's important that pitchers can handle the bat and do, you know, they're not going, obviously, the majority of them going to have lights out numbers, or, you know, but if you're able to handle the bat, just put the ball in play. It could make a difference. Bunting, obviously, an important part. To be able to get that bunt down when called upon. David Freese, now he's going to probably try to drive a ball out of the infield here.
Push it to the right.
By thinking to the right side, more likely to get the ball airborne.
And that usually plays into Freese's wheelhouse, thinking opposite field. Phil Hughes. Home run to Cervelli in the first, struck out 3 in the second, but walked his mount opponent Chad Kuhl to start this third, and that sun and wind blown fly ball that Lamont Wade couldn't handle went for a double.
Well, there is room for him.
Balls in play by direction last year. Center field and right.
Interesting lineup for the Pirates today, and you look, other than Cervelli, who you expect to do the majority of the catching, all guys for the most part that you expect to help you off the bench.
Yeah, starters getting the day off today. Maybe an indication, Rock and Doc, that Clint Hurdle is going to go close to full bore starting tomorrow. Maybe he figures, okay, we're going to put the pedal to the metal starting on Sunday. He's got the, of course, it's a split squad, so just about everybody will participate either here in Bradenton against Boston, which will be on AT&T Sportsnet right here again at Lecom, and then half the squad going up north to Dunedin to take on the Blue Jays. That'll be on the radio side. Wide throw, nice play on the other end by Stasi, and of course with the pitcher running, Kuhl at third, he holds. So 2 outs.
One of the interesting things Clint mentioned after the game yesterday, and I never know how this plays out because the exhibition season is so long. He mentioned that the Red Sox were already using players for 9 innings. And he said maybe by Monday we'll be doing the same thing, and I think he pointed out the splits, the split squads. And he said, we have guys right now that can play 9. We know they're ready to go 9, and we might be doing that by Monday, but I didn't realize that they might be thinking of heads.
Whoa, hello.
That they might be thinking of doing that even before you get to the tail end of the exhibition schedule. As Blas has said on all of the networks this past week, this is the flatline time of the exhibition season. Right?
He's got the 3 stages. Yeah, the flat line. The excitement of the start of spring and the flat line or grind time, which takes you toward about the last week in the anticipation stage. Our great sage, Mr. Blas. The wisdom of Steve. 0-2 count now on Osuna. But yeah, you do wonder, Doc, whether, and by the way, on the radio side, Joe Block, Bob Walk, Steve with a much needed day off, much like the starters for Clint Hurdle today. Steve had worked a couple straight days.
Well, certainly he's here somewhere. I mean,
Oh,
day
yeah,
off,
he
but
doesn't
maybe
miss a
sitting
game.
in the press box. Or
Yeah. There's Bob Walk, hard at work. But it does make you think that that is Clint Hurdle's philosophy this year, that he will push it starting as early as tomorrow, with everyone but Cervelli, the starters, getting the day off today. And still some decisions to be made. We know Rodriguez is on the club. Who is going to win the job out of camp? The final position player. Here's Osuna, who's been trying to learn third base. And boy, that's going to help his cause. That is really special on a 1-2 pitch, and a little hesitation around the bag. And so now he's going to be caught. He'll get the single, and he'll eventually be tagged out. Aggressively, but a little hesitation cost him, but he rips that double into, or single into left center field that scores a pair on the 1-2 pitch to give the Pirates a 3-1 lead. Lead the Twins, and we are just wondering about who lands that final position spot. Jose Osuna, as a rookie last year, did a nice job considering he got part-time work, hit .233 with 7 home runs, drove in 30, and here he is down to the count, 2 outs, and he rips this ball into left center to score Cool and Frazier, and a little hesitation around the first base bag cost him, and you can see Jake Cave then firing it into the infield, and once Osuna was caught between first and second, he was a dead duck, but the damage had been done. That's impressive stuff, and I think these are the things that Neil Huntington and Clint Hurdle are looking for, even though it is spring training. It's Phil Hughes, a veteran, who's been pitching well, down in the count, drives the ball in the gap, Rob.
He can flat out hit. I mean, we've seen him hit a couple home runs to the opposite direction, right center field. He's a guy that looks to hit the ball, especially the fastball the other way, which keeps him on a pitch like that, a breaking ball away, a 2-strike pitch, right on the button. And last year, maybe the average wasn't where he may have liked. It's very difficult for a young player who's used to playing every day to come in and play sparingly off the bench and at bat here and at bat there. But yet the power numbers were there. He could drive in runs. Slow heartbeat at the plate in those situations with runners in scoring position. And I like the aggressiveness as far as thinking double out of the box. Obviously not very fast, Jose Osuna. Put the brakes on a little bit too late, but I like thinking double until the outfield stops you. Unfortunately for Jose, that he just stopped too late. Couldn't retreat and get back to first, but still another great at bat.
You think he can be the pinch hitter for the team?
I think with the way the bench looks now, with the additions of Colin Moran and especially Colin Moran and now Freese being in that backup role in the middle infield, I just don't think there's enough at bats for him here. I think certainly he can handle it, but is he better served to go to AAA and get consistent at bats? Maybe learn the position at third base. I know he's played there in winter ball. He's played there some this spring. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he doesn't make the club, but I think he's a bit of a long shot.
It's amazing how they have to fight that sun.
Isn't it something? And we
where
saw the
our
double.
seats are, we can see how they have to fight it so much.
Freese will not be charged with an error. This will be no play.
Yeah, he got the glasses on. He's got the glove up, and just sometimes there's nothing you can do. If you can't see it, you're not going to catch it. And you can try to move around and try to get the ball to come out of the sun, but that's a scary thing as an outfielder or infielder or pop-up that everybody can see but you, because you're directly under the sun.
That young man's lucky shirt he's wearing. And here we go. Looks routine, but a little breeze, and turns out to be uneventful for Cunningham. Well, Pirates Charities host Pittsburgh's Home Run 5K 10K April 14th, presented by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield and Allegheny Health Network. And all participants will get a Performance Tech shirt, a free Pirates ticket voucher, and commemorative medal upon finishing on the field at PNC Park. You can register at pirates.com/homerun on Saturday, April 14th. Remember the opening homestand with opening day at PNC Park on Monday, April the 2nd. 1:05 start. Get there early for all the pregame festivities. There's nothing like a home opener. These Twins will be in Pittsburgh. Then there will be an off day on the 3rd and the first night game on Wednesday the 4th against Minnesota, and then 4 with the Cincinnati Reds. Pirates will play 5 games against American League clubs to begin this season for the first time ever. And then National League ball against those Reds. The first free shirt Friday on the 6th. Fireworks night on the 7th. And the first Kids Sunday on April the 8th. The free raise the Jolly Roger Rally Rags given away to the youngsters 14 and under. Mitch Garver, easy for me to say. He and Jason Castro will be the catchers for the Twins this year.
Another changeup. Well, we've seen at least a handful of changeups from Chad Kuhl. He's throwing it to both righties and lefties. Had that good tail running off the plate. The pitch that looks most like a fastball out of the hand. And so
and something cool you think probably needs, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good work there. The second strikeout. We saw the spike in velocity for Kuhl last season, but that didn't necessarily result in a lot of strikeouts, and there were actually a little more walks than he'd like.
You know, when we've heard of Chad Kuhl and you hear this guy with a good sinking fastball, you expected a lot of ground balls. You didn't expect plus velocity and more four seams, more fastballs up in the zone. And I think when he's at his best, that's what he's getting. The ground ball there. Get the hitters to hit on top of it, pound it into the dirt.
Nice work. Nice play by Adam Frazier.
time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Jim Trudinich, Pirates Media Relations Director there. There in the green on the left of your screen.
30 years out of Slippery Rock.
Yep, the pride of Slippery Rock. Jimmy T. Spent some time in the commissioner's office a lot of years ago.
His son Zach is a knuckleballer. I call him R.A. just as
Oh, yeah,
nickname,
yeah.
but
R.A. Trudinich.
that's it. High school knuckleballer. I didn't know there were those, but there are.
Yeah, I don't see them very often, that's for sure.
No doubt Zach tuned into his Pirates today. Sean Rodriguez wasn't happy with that called third strike in the second.
See, it was during the playoffs last year. I was over at the Penguins ice after the morning skate, and I was watching a game you guys were televising from there. It was with the Cubs. And the umpire had to warn Sean and the Cubs bench, both of them, because they were going at each other. So I just loved it.
Yeah,
But that's just.
Yeah.
You love
They
the
both
fact-
got a warning.
I mean, Sean Rodriguez, he comes to the ballpark every day to beat the opponent. You know,
Right.
Yep.
he wants to beat you.
And goes about it the right way every pitch.
Yep.
On defense, on the bases, at the plate, he competes. And that's the kind of a guy you want on your team, and you want young guys to follow. And
Jordan Luplow tries one deep to center field. Jordan Luplow displaying some of that power that has intrigued the Pirates. 2-run shot to center. And a 5-1 Bucco lead. Luplow played in 27 major league games last year, his first 3 big league homers. He's a member of that Altoona Curve team and the AAA Indianapolis Indians, combined to hit 23 home runs in the minors.
look at his reaction. I mean, that's when you know you have power. When you hit a ball straight away and you know it's gone.
Look at that, way up the batter's eye. Oh, these Buccos, wind or not, they're hitting some home runs. 33 home runs in their last 14 games.
Wow.
The most of any team in the Grapefruit League. Jordan Luplow and Francisco Cervelli so far today. Luplow's 3rd of the spring. Bryce Brentz has hit a home run. Had an infield single his first time up. We're talking about Jose Osuna. And this ball high into that wind. Tough play, but Cave makes the catch. But it would appear that spot's down to Brentz, Osuna, and Luplow, especially considering all 3 are playing in this game. And Max Moroff, Chris Bostic still not out of the picture, but Brentz, the fact that he is out of options, traded over from the Red Sox before spring training began, probably a leg up on the others.
And you figure that guy, that 25th guy, is probably only going to be used as a pinch hitter. You don't see many starts. You know, assuming Marte, Polanco, they're healthy, they're going to be out there every day. Dickerson and left will be out there most. And when they don't start, it'll be Adam Frazier, maybe Sean Rodriguez. And so, you know, David Freese will get the extra starts in the corners. You might see Frazier at second here and there. Rodriguez gives Jordy Mercer a break on occasion. And so that final spot is basically just going to be a pinch hitter. Or perhaps a DH with, in the American League cities.
Where the Pirates will begin again in Detroit. Thursday the 29th. And Cunningham, Todd Cunningham goes the other way with a base hit through the left side.
Celebrate the return of Pirates baseball during opening week, April 2nd through the 8th at PNC Park. It kicks off with opening day on April 2nd against the Twins. Then later in the week, enjoy a free shirt Friday, fireworks Saturday, and Sunday Kids Day when the Reds are in town. Go to pirates.com/opening week for tickets.
Be there. The Minnesota Twins and the Cincinnati Reds, the Pirates' first 2 home opponents. Well, now Chad Cole and John Wayner was talking about the important things like bunting for pitchers. A wide throw and a safe call. Garver's throw pulling Polanco off the bag, and everyone's safe.
Not the greatest bunt. Didn't get it too far out in front of home plate here. He kind of jabs at it instead of just trying to catch it. The catcher Garver gets to it quickly, but just throws a sinker.
I'll give Cool credit for his sacrifice bunt and an error charge to Garver, letting Cunningham reach and Frazier at the plate. A sun-blown, wind-blown double for Frazier. His last time up. Adam Frazier, Barrel Automotive League leaders stat coming up involving Adam Frazier. We're talking about the role of this final spot among position players likely being solely a pinch hitter. And the players with the highest average last year off the bench, look at what Adam Frazier did. Behind only Jose Martinez of the Cardinals. 381 for Frazier as a pinch hitter.
That's impressive. That's not an easy job.
We're talking about a guy in his first full year in the big leagues. Of course, Martinez also a guy not used to that role.
Well, that's insane. 462.
Yeah.
Remember when he was called up and he was leading the International League in batting average, the whole league, and spun right into being a quality hitter. That hit him?
Apparently not. It's going to be a wild pitch. And Cunningham and Cool move up. So now a hit could score a couple.
Yeah, it looked like it bounced over that front foot.
And now the infield coming in here against Adam Frazier. Frazier, the Athens, Georgia native, who resides now in Nashville. Sano is over. He's not going to get to it in time. Frazier's become a big Nashville Predators fan. He went to a lot of Preds games. What do you think of the possibility of a rematch? Stanley Cup,
very good.
right?
Very good. Predators are right now the class of the West. They've overwhelmed everybody else in points. Even though Vegas is the story in the West, the Predators are the odds-on favorite to get to the Stanley Cup final again. And the East is pretty much open, but we'll get to that in a second. I don't want to rush that one.
And Nashville, what they just ran off 10?
Yeah, they had 10
in a row.
Yeah, they won 10 of 11. May have been 11 of 12, I think, by now. And they're above 100 points. And I don't think there's their equal when it comes to goaltending and defense. The Penguins have the offense. They have 3 guys in the top 11 in team scoring, in the league scoring race. And as long as Matt Murray is healthy, and of course there's always that question about goaltending, but without it, you don't have a chance. But if you've got the goaltending, as we've seen in the past, going to be fine. But it's a little more balanced in the East. And here they sit today, and they're second in their division behind, guess who? Washington again.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
And there seems to be no worry about that. Why should there be?
Another foul.
Because when they won the championship in 16, how did they do in the division? Nobody cares.
Yep. Nope.
They finished second to Washington. And when they won last year, how did they do in the regular season? Nobody cares. They finished second to Washington. And when they won in 09, how did they do? They finished second to New Jersey. But they won the whole thing.
Yeah.
As that noted sage sitting in your chair, Mr. Wayner, last year at this time, that hockey expert named Bob Walk said, all you got to do is be one of the 16 that qualifies.
Get to the dance, right?
That's it.
It should be a lot of fun down the stretch. There he is.
He knows he was quoted earlier
Yes.
today.
Yeah,
I wonder what he's talking about.
I do wonder. Something about where Frazier's been hitting those foul balls is my guess.
I know it's not hockey. He's not
Probably.
talking hockey.
I think you're safe on that.
The next hockey game he watches might be the first.
We keep wanting him to go, but he doesn't. Looky.
How about that? Safe call. Cunningham slips in underneath the tag of the catcher, Garver.
Gotta love speed and putting pressure on the defense. Love the idea of being aggressive.
Even with the infield in.
Yep.
Ball basically hit right to this first baseman Stassi, and Garver asking the home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy.
The ball just barely beat Cunningham, but the foot gets to the plate before the tag. Nice little slide going around that left foot of Garver.
And thankfully, there is no replay in spring training.
Mm-hmm.
First and second give Frazier an RBI and give the Pirates this 6-1 lead. Francisco Cervelli homered in the first.
If we did 3 stars in baseball, Cunningham would be given consideration
Yes.
right now for one of them. Maybe the third one.
We'll have to do that, Doc. That's
Yeah.
where we're going to start that. At the end of
Okay.
this game, for the first time ever, you're going to name a 3 stars.
I like what I've seen from Cunningham, but I think there's plenty from other guys
Okay.
too. So
We'll wait till the end. Phil Hughes, by the way, just about reached his pitch count. Frazier getting back as Garver paying attention to him, trying to catch him napping. Talk about Phil Hughes and hoping for a bounce back healthy season. They have added some talent to that rotation. Jake Odorizzi, former Tampa Bay Ray, and Lance Lynn. They signed him last week to a free agent deal. 1-year contract for the former Cardinal.
Amazing, Hughes, as you can see, not a very hard thrower, but there's some sneakiness to that fastball where he's gotten away with some pitches he's thrown over the heart of the plate, whether it be a take or a foul ball. It just has snuck up on some hitters.
And a line drive base hit for Cervelli. Chad Cole to third. Frazier moves up to second, and Cervelli is 2 for 3.
And would have had an RBI if another base runner other than Chad Cole, or if Chad Cole would have moved up to third on the play of the plate. But there's signs in second and third situations where, you have the runner going on contact and let the second base runner, the runner at second base, know that he's moving up. But Cervelli, he'll take another knock.
And that'll be it for Phil Hughes. All Molitor. Call on the reliever. 6-1 Pirates in the fourth. Bases loaded.
The authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
6-1 Bucks leading here at Lee Com on St. Patrick's Day, and with the bases loaded, chance to add on against the reliever Alan Buznitz. Facing David Freese, he's the 8th man to hit, with Kuhl, Frazier, and Cervelli on the bases.
Numbers for the Twins right-hander: 28 appearances, 1-1, an ERA just under 2.
Like Frazier from Athens, Georgia. Just outside of Atlanta. Buznitz making his major league debut last year.
They got to the wild card but finished 17 games behind Cleveland. This is one of the curses, isn't it, when you're in a division with a powerhouse?
Oh. Yep.
I guess we can draw a conclusion there, right?
Yep.
Over to the
no question.
National League Central.
Yep. And that's, I guess, really the big question for the Twins, as they surprised everyone last year and got to the postseason as a wild card. What does 2018 have in store? And through the additions of Odorizzi and Lance Lynn, get them closer to the Indians, maybe, but I think they're quite a ways away from battling the Tribe in the division. Molitor and the Twins probably have to hope for another wild card to get them to the postseason.
Local guy from Minnesota, Molitor, and I'll never forget, years ago, a young Paul Holmgren, we were back doing some videoing in St. Paul, Minnesota at Paul's old high school, Harding High School. It's not even a high school anymore. We were out on the football field where he used to be a drop kick extra point guy. He would drop
Molitor.
kick. Yeah, no, Paul Holmgren.
Oh, Holmgren.
And he showed us the baseball field, and he pointed to a row of houses beyond left field, and he said, "Do you realize Molitor came in here when he was a high school player and cleared the house?"
Wow.
And it was probably, well, you see what Freese is doing here.
Oh, Freese
Clearing the bases, perhaps. At least 2.
Yep, we'll take the 2-run double, and the Pirates really capitalizing on opportunities now.
But young athletes show very early what they can do, and he had already done that as a high school player. He was clearing a row of houses beyond a left field fence in a high school field.
Coming in on Freeze, or at least trying to get it in there. That pitch almost looked like it was off the plate. And David Freeze, a nice, short, compact stroke.
And here is Jose Osuna, who had the 2-run single in the 3rd. So, Doc, you were out there. Holmgren was showing you that?
Yeah, he pointed to
when
that.
would that have been?
He said that row of houses was cleared by high school players Paul Molitor and Dave Winfield. They both cleared the houses. Paul played some high school baseball as well, but he was pointing out landmarks for the high school field to me.
And about what
This
year
would have been in
when you were-
1981 when he was showing me, and at that time he had been a professional for about 7 years. So it would have been back when he was in high school, which would have been early 70s.
By the way, the infield is back, so a chance for Osuna.
So, Rock, is every at bat now weighing into this decision?
For Osuna
for
or
Osuna.
Brents or what,
I think when you get into the last week or so and you're still here and you don't know how they're going, which direction they're going to go in, if you don't know, yes, it gets to the point where the pressure is added.
We'll give him another RBI, and with an errant throw, another run will score. Cervelli trots in on the ground ball, the throw from Polanco in the dirt, and Freeze trots in with the 10th Pirates run. Osuna has 3 RBIs in his 3 at-bats.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to crush it to drive them in with the infield back. Just put it in play, get it by the pitcher.
He'll get the RBI on this ground ball, putting it in play, and then Freeze will score on the air. But to Doc's question, John, because he is still here and he doesn't know whether he's going to go north with the club. What pressure? I guess it depends on what you do. What pressure you add to yourself, how you handle it, right?
I mean, you're out there and you're competing, and you can't really control anything more than what you can do, and you're not a decision maker. You're trying to make the decision difficult, and you're hoping it's going to go in your favor. But certain guys handle it better. Certain guys thrive and will perform better with that kind of pressure. Or others struggle with it.
Sean Rodriguez started the inning with a base hit. Jordan Luplow followed with that home run.
Well, decision makers are used to making decisions, but how can they forget what you described as at least 380 feet, maybe 400 foot opposite field home run against the Yankees on Thursday? I mean, those register like Osuna hit.
And again, it's part of it is how do you, what are your needs? Some of it's what's best for that player. I mean, you look at a guy like Osuna, is he better served to go down and play every day?
It's a nice grab.
Well, I was going to say, that's why you bring the glove. That's why you brought the glove for years, Doc.
That's right.
That's about right around where you used to sit, right?
Yes, very close. Yeah, you're right. It's just needs, but those with a fan, those really register.
Oh, sure.
Long home runs.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunately, there are some decisions made. I'm not just saying here in Pittsburgh, but throughout spring training, to where you may be the better option to make the club, whether it be in the bullpen or a bench spot, but you lose that job because the guy's out of options. That's another factor. And so, and as an organization, you have to weigh those. I mean, am I willing to risk player A because he's out of options?
That's Bryce Brents.
Because player B's outperformed and maybe more valuable to the club?
That's maybe Jose Osuna.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you are, exactly
Sure.
where you are. And Neil Huntington has said, we hope the player makes the decision easy for us. And this is a perfect example because of Osuna in terms of the batting average and how he's performed. Now 11 hits in 30 at-bats, 2 more hits today, 3 RBIs. And Brents, who came in hitting .226, had an infield single his first time up, has struck out 10 times in his 33 at-bats, but he's out of options. So here you traded for him with the Red Sox. You made the deal. And if you try and send him down to the minors, you risk losing him to another club.
And again, I mean, you have to decide too, for a guy like Jose Osuna, if you thought, okay, we can get him some starts against left-handed pitching, but Josh Bell's a switch hitter. He's not going to rest very often against lefties or righties, and so there's no at-bats for him at first base. At third base, if you're going to rest Colin Moran against a lefty, it's going to be David Freese. So literally there might not be a start for you the entire month of April. And so you might end up with a half a dozen or so pinch hit appearances.
And by the way, Jordan Luplow is also part of that equation, and he wants to make it difficult and put his name up there along with Jose Osuna as he rips a single to left. But the same is true with Luplow. Is he better served playing every day at AAA?
And I think, unfortunately for him, as far as making the big league club, I mean, that makes probably more sense for him to be in AAA because, for one, he can hit and he can hit for power, but he does not have a lot of at-bats above AA. He doesn't even have any at-bats in AA. So it's going to be best served for him to play every day and gain more experience at the AAA level. And if there's an injury, and you'd rather, that's another issue, is if there is an injury, and let's just say it's to Polanco or Dickerson, and you can call up a hot Luplow from AAA that has played regularly, and so there's not going to be much of an adjustment period in terms of getting reps. It's harder to start a guy that sat on the bench for a month if you need him out there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that really does make all the sense in the world. By the way, the infield is back, conceding a run. They're just looking for outs here. The Pirates have just continued to put the ball in play. This is going to be the 50th pitch of the inning. Combined Hughes and Busnitz.
And there's been a number of outs not recorded. You look at the bunt from Cool, which was this inning. It feels like it was several innings ago, but it was this inning. There was a ground ball that play at the plate. Cunningham able to get his foot in there. That's a second out. The error on the shortstop on Osuna's ball. So the Pirates getting about 6 outs this inning.
Cunningham scoring on that ground ball. After that bunt, Frazier hit that ground ball to the first baseman, Stassi. And Osuna's ground ball to Polanco brought in a run, and another run scoring on the error. A walk to Rodriguez, base hit for Luplow. Brent's going to put the ball in play. That's going to score another. Sano, the bare hand. And now they throw, almost picking off Sano as Stassi throws across the diamond after getting the out at first.
Well, just a little tapper over there. Sano going with the bare hand. And pretty good play. Luplow decides he can move up 90 feet.
It is remarkable that guy is that mobile at 260 pounds at third base.
You would think that they would want him to come in a little lighter. Hear all the talk about how great a shape the players are in. Not always the case as far as folks using the off season to shed some pounds.
Yeah.
At 24 years of age, he probably carries it better than he will at 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 6'4", I mean, you would expect a guy that is 6'4", 260 to not be mobile. He had a strong throw on the run.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of home run derbies, but he finished second to Aaron Judge. And we should encourage people, if they come to a game here, and there aren't that many left, to come out in time to watch batting practice.
Especially
because
when the
he put
wind's
on a
blowing.
show.
Yeah.
And you've got time. That was a 30-minute inning, so come on down. 12-1, a 9 spot.
Did they pull a goalie?
It's
Other teams will have caught up to the number of games played that the Penguins have. So the other teams have had games in hand on them, and it makes it very hard to judge the standings with that. And Sid will undoubtedly, if they win the championship again, come out and throw a perfect strike like he did last.
Yeah. When they brought the cup to PNC Park. And speaking for a lot of Penguin Pirate fans, it is so cool to hear you do, first of all, the game here with us. We can't thank you enough, but to hear you read the promo for the Pens game on AT&T Sportsnet is really cool.
Well, it's fun for me.
It's
and I
wild.
Hope we don't drive people to other channels, because this is fun for me to be a part of this and to get to wander around the park and have a pass. And I went down to the bullpen today, and wouldn't you know that the statues that they put up next to the plate for fake hitters, so that the pitchers warm up next to a fake hitter, are dressed like Reds and Cardinals. They're red and white. And I thought,
that's appropriate, isn't it?
yeah, and this is probably not appropriate, but I've never been a Brandon Phillips fan.
That makes
And
two of us.
so I would be bending a couple of curveballs close to that guy if I was down there, but I can't throw anymore.
Brendan Phillips without a job at the moment.
Yeah, how
Is
about
that right?
Yeah. I don't know if he's over
Well,
at
he
the
has a
IMG
wonderful
Academy.
talent, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does
He's
have a
a
wonderful
talented guy.
talent.
Yep, and
Period, paragraph.
Yep.
There they are.
There they are. Those still the Joe Kerrigan dummies, Rock, you think?
That's the first guy I thought of. Dave Kerwin.
Former Pirates pitching coach Joe Kerrigan, who maybe not affectionately known as Dave Kerwin by Jason Kendall.
The other thing I noticed, I talked to Bones, the equipment guy, for so many years here, and this year there will be 8 different uniforms. I noticed the socks today.
Yeah,
the green and white socks.
Yeah, that's cool.
8 different uniforms this year. Now, I think last year we made you guess, but that's not fair.
Chris Heisey, veteran, former Red, with the base hit.
So white and gray, that's kind of easy, right? Gold, black. So that's 4. Camouflage.
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
July 4th. And
Mother's Day too?
The one no, they're not doing that this
they're
year.
not.
The one I didn't get was Jackie Robinson Day.
Oh,
they're having
yeah,
a special
of course.
uniform
My gosh.
for that, like
Yes.
they do. So those are the 8 this year, and of course there are all kinds of combinations, but those are the 8.
And new camouflage jerseys this year, right? A little bit new
Yes.
twist to them?
Yes.
Osuna, so strong defensively, almost turned that into a double play. It's the out at first.
Good effort. I mean, it actually made it way closer than I thought it would be. When you have to take more than a step to get to the bag, it's going to be tough to get that runner at second base. And obviously when you touch the bag at first, you have to tag the runner going to second. And on the move, kind of with his momentum going in the wrong direction, a pretty strong, accurate throw. You almost expect it to hit the runner almost all the time when you see that throw. But boy, that was a great throw.
That's the thing about Jose Osuna with Josh Bell now as the first baseman. Rock was alluding to this earlier. Osuna was tried a little bit in the outfield last year, looking for a place where that bat might play. And then started taking those ground balls late in the season at third base as David Freese was almost admittedly overused. Jung Ho Gang not able to get that work visa to get him out of Korea. And they're looking for ways to get Osuna in the game. And then in the offseason, they make the trade and acquire that left-handed hitting third baseman, Colin Moran, from the Houston Astros. Osuna played winter ball and played third base. Lamont Wade at the plate. Cool approaching the 70 pitch mark. Trying to go 5. But he is almost to his limit. And so the Pirates get the right-hander warming up in the bullpen, Brett McKinney. Cervelli picks it up in foul territory.
Tyon was 59 yesterday, and Clint Hurdle said that he actually went to the bullpen and threw 20 more just to get in 80.
Tells you how
in
good he
some
pitched,
work.
right? Yeah. Pitched so
what a
well.
tribute to pitching.
Yeah. Finish up in the bullpen. You went 5, but didn't throw enough pitches. As they continue to get built up. We said earlier that Ivan Nova will pitch opening day in Detroit on the 29th. And then it will be Jameson Taillon for the home opener on April the 2nd. And you start to fill in the rest of the rotation in terms of the order as Wade takes ball 4. Good chance that Chad Kuhl or Trevor Williams would follow Nova in Detroit on the 29th. After the off day, there's an off day on the 30th. Let's assume it's Williams on the 31st, Kuhl on the 1st, and then the home opener Taillon on the 2nd, off day the 3rd. Nova would come back on the 4th, and then Joe Musgrove likely makes his Pirates debut on the 5th against the Reds.
You know, earlier in the game, we were talking about pitchers and batting, and we were specifically talking about the Pirates. Maybe in the inning break, you can check this for me, but as I was scanning the Twins, Fernando Rodney.
Hard hit by Grossman. Will score a run.
I was noticing Fernando Rodney, if I have checked this right, has been in the majors for 15 years and has batted one time.
Wow.
In the third year with Detroit. Now, please check me because
Okay,
maybe I
we will.
looked at the wrong site, but I double-checked this. In his third year with Detroit, he had one at-bat in 2006. Now, I realize
The
relief
closers don't
pitcher,
get many
closer,
at-bats,
just,
yeah.
I was always
But
pinch
still.
hit for if he goes long. But one time,
Sheesh.
and he was in the National League a little bit,
Yep.
but never happened, I guess. But we'll when you check your site, you probably have legitimate
Well, we just
people,
don't.
and
The truck-
math has never been a strength.
Nor mine, and the truck just confirmed you're right on the money, Doc.
One
at
time.
bat.
I wonder what he did.
Yes, that's the next question. But stay tuned.
You're a bit of a show-off, by the
We'll
way.
find out when we come
All
back.
this research.
No, it struck me as funny.
Twins, and just to confirm again, yeah, Fernando Rodney, as Doc mentioned, one major league at bat, a ground out, June 17, 2006, back to the pitcher. He was with the Tigers then. Fernando Rodney is a Twin this season. At the age of 40, he and the imaginary arrow. After every save, he shoots that arrow into the sky. Jorge Polanco. A swing and a miss against Brett McKinney, who was with AAA Indianapolis last season and is in camp this year with the Pirates. Non-roster invitee from Hamilton, Ohio. Teague's old stomping grounds. At the same high school as Teague. Brett McKinney.
Got the nice red beard going.
Yeah.
You can't help but think more incentive to make a club to keep that beard. Can't have them in India.
Yeah. Can't have those uniform pants down to the shoes.
Are those? See, I don't know this.
Pirate rules. Yep.
In the minors.
Yep.
But not up here.
Right.
Interesting.
Three and one on Polanco.
He's obviously invested a lot of time in that beard
Yes.
too.
Yes.
You want to keep something like that. There are teams in hockey guys get traded to and they're allowed to grow them for the first time, or they've got to come off.
Yeah.
Freeze will get the out at second. And the third run will score. Polanco gets the RBI, brings home Wade from third.
Seems to me that during the hockey playoffs last year, not every player goes with the facial hair, do they?
No, and some
Anymore.
of them have it long before the playoffs begin. So doesn't seem to have the whole thought that it once had, because guys carry them through the year now. In most cases, they're pretty well trimmed. At one time, we thought that a hockey player, especially a goaltender, above 6'2", it was so gangly you could not play the position. And now we have guys 6'8" doing it.
Oh,
and the reason I bring it up is we've discussed 6'4", 260 at the plate, and it just doesn't seem to make a difference. We see guys in the NFL, they're over 300 pounds, and they can move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're quick.
Yeah, it's amazing. It just seems like there's no room in the net anymore.
Yeah.
With
No.
the bigger equipment and the bigger goalies.
And guys blocking shots all the
Yeah.
time, and you've got to get through four guys and their sets of legs and sticks, or maybe 5 guys. One of the interesting things about baseball compared to a sport like hockey, where defenses are set up and things change over the years, is it starts with a guy 60 feet 6 inches away. And there's even though you may have shifts and you have analytics and all of that, it starts with a ball that's thrown that far.
Yep.
And you don't have defensive schemes other than where you will play your fielders. But between the time that's released and where it gets there, it's up to the batter. And with our sport, we can have guys going so fast and can carry it in, but what are they met up with? A goaltender and maybe guys that are piled up out in front of him. And it can change from year to year, and we get fashion that can dictate defensive schemes, and so rules will change for more scoring. And in baseball, if a guy hits the ball far enough, the runs go on the board.
Yep.
Speaking of fashion there,
Yeah.
looks like an Irish national team he's representing. And both sports are wonderful because of the guys that play them. We get to hang around.
And this might be an adventure. Kinney going to get out of the way so Suna can handle it. Twins pick up a couple. Bucks leading 12-3. Of the 5th here at Lecom Park in Bradenton.
Hey, we went back to the video. Sidney Crosby with wagers against him from his loyal teammates. They said he couldn't throw a strike. Ron Hainsey That's a strike.
Man, look how fired up they are, too. I mean, they challenged Sid, and he was up to the challenge again. Perfect strike.
Reports had it that he went down below and practiced about 7 or 8 tosses. Ron Hainsey was criticized by his teammates who wagered against Sid for framing the pitch and drew the strike call. But electronically, it was viewed to be a strike as well.
Oh, that is classic.
All the things that United teammates do.
Yeah.
Another thing I remember about that night, because I was watching your telecast that night, was the wonderful salute to Marc-Andre Fleury and all the classy way that everyone knew that this was the future was going to be for him. It was going to be in Vegas, and he did a wonderful job of leaving the city and leaving a park that he donated through the Penguins Foundation behind.
I've heard more stories, Doc, about him from people in different charities who say he never wanted any publicity. He would call them. I guess this is now becoming, more well known, but he never ever wanted the publicity. He would just make calls. Somebody needed money, he'd just call and they'd say, well, we'll let people know. Nope, anonymous. All over.
It kind of goes with the turf, and we'll get back to baseball in a second here, but I'm biased. I've been at this for 45 years now, and there's a 500-way tie for first for nice guys in the sport, and Mark's right up there near the top of the 500-way tie. He's just first rate.
Right, Lavarnway pinch hitting will, in a moment, be heading down to Robbie. He's got Chad Kuhl. There's Teak, and let's go down to Robbie now.
Yep, I got Chad Kuhl here. Good afternoon for him. How you feeling thus far in spring training, Chad?
Good. It was nice to build some innings today, and felt a lot better than I had the previous outing. So just getting your feet back under you.
How about like when you have during season you're going to have an inning where you're sitting there in the dugout for a while like you were now. I think the Twins threw like 56, 57 pitches in that fourth inning. How much can you replicate game situations down here? Yeah,
I mean, you're just trying to take every situation like you would up in Pittsburgh. There's always the toughest because it could end in a double play and you can be right back out there. So you try and you try not to do too much, you try not to do too little. They're always kind of tricky, but just keep moving, keep the blood flowing, and just hope that we score a lot and it ends soon.
So I think a lot of people do at times down here. We talked to a lot of young guys about this. How much have you learned about yourself baseball-wise now having a full season under your belt as a big league starter? Yeah,
it's crazy just how much you learn, from other guys and from yourself, and you learn what works, what doesn't work, and for me, it's harder isn't always better. The harder I throw, it sometimes doesn't work out in my favor. Locating. And as Ray preaches all the time, just execution of pitches, and for me, not enhancement of pitches. So, staying within myself, doing what I can do, and and that's the best recipe.
A lot of times we've discussed over the last couple games just how many young guys there are, and the fact that you guys are second-year players in the big leagues. This is 7 or 8 years you've all been playing together. How do you describe the camaraderie that you've all been able to establish, especially at the Breakfast Club started by Jameson? Yeah, it's just the comfortability with each guy. The guys, you see them in the dugout, they're intently watching, and the same goes for any of the other starters that we have, and it's just really cool that we have this shared experience that not a lot of people get to have. So and to go through this this grind of a season, and hopefully long careers with a few of your really good buddies is really awesome. And it's a very young group, as we mentioned a moment ago. But Jameson Taillon is way mature beyond his years, and that's not a knock on anybody else on this team. But how much has he kind of taken the reins a little bit as a leader at his age? Yeah, it's crazy. His voice has carry, has weight to it. So, when he says something, ears perk up. He's one of those guys that, he just, kind of commands a room, and obviously when he's on the mound, commands the team, and he just does a really good job. And with everything that he's gone through, he's handled it, heads and shoulders above,
any expectations of we could have had for him, and he's done an amazing job.
You know, that's exactly where I was going to go with my next question. How much do you respect and admire a guy like that when you see everything that's been thrown his way between Tommy John surgery, hernia surgery, cancer surgery, and just to bounce back? Not only that, but be so open about his journey and making it, using that platform to benefit others.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, to take it and put a positive spin on it, or to embrace it just the way he has. And yeah, I think, you know, it's like he said, you know, it's kind of prepared him. You know, the hernia, the Tommy John, just going through all these things have made him mentally tough, and and propelled him to great things and great things in the future.
You know, and you'll give us a lot of insight here, Chad. When you talk about doing work, a lot of pitchers talk about getting work in, regardless of what the scoreboard may or may not say. When you have outings like today, what puts you in position for success for a good spring training outing?
So, you know, today, first time we were doing different signs and multiple signs, and just working on that for me. Being able to throw, you know, each weapon for me, you know, adding that changeup, you know, the curveball came and was a big, you know, weapon for me last year, and to be able to add the changeup, you know, something I've had, but not necessarily, you know, where I could go to it any time in the game. So today through, you know, a bunch of changeups, it's been a lot of, you know, focus on the spring and getting those just game-like reps. You know, you can't really replicate that in the bullpen. So just being able to go out here and a successful outing. You know, is the pitch count and working on, you know, pitches or the signs or anything like that gets you game reps and game ready.
So Chad Kuhl in the clubhouse, guys, he's known as Chet by a few of his teammates. I know Garrett Cole started that, so you're not going to be called Chet as much in the clubhouse this year?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's a, you know, nickname. I think it's more of on the mound thing. So, you know, Chet comes out and you know, pitches sometimes, but for the most part, it's Chad.
All right, Chad, we appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Robbie and Chad, or Chet when he's on the mound, and did a good job today on the mound, and loved what he said there about Jameson Taillon. Commands a room, and when he's on the mound, he commands a mound. And you really are starting to see the leadership skills of Jameson Taillon at a still young age.
You know what I like about the meetings, you know, the Breakfast Club, and they might not talk ball all the time, but the more you get together as a group, as baseball teammates, the more you're going to talk about baseball, and the more you're going to learn from those conversations. Different opinions, different reasons for why you did whatever it may have been the night before. And, you know, the more you can be around your teammates to talk about the games, the more you're going to learn and the better your team's going to be.
It definitely is underrated, especially this day and age. Just don't see that much. Guys just hang around and just talk ball, and that's really what it's all about. Or, as you said, just getting to know each other, and there's a friendly competition, but more than anything else, a desire to be great and to be an outstanding pitching staff. Because if the Pirates are going to win their fair share of games this year and beyond, it is going to fall on the shoulders of those pitchers. Francisco Cervelli on base for a third time, draws the walk against Anthony McIver, not MacGyver. Anthony McIver. He faces David Freese, who last time up got a two-run double.
We were talking earlier about the USA gold medal last year in the World Baseball Classic, and it is an annual event, as you know, Greg, that I asked for at least one story about the coach of the USA gold medal team that managed you in two different places, Jim Leland. Is this the time? Since you were talking about clubhouse and about stories and about getting together to talk about baseball?
Sure. I mean, to me, maybe the best ever.
And Sano can't handle the ground ball on the backhand. That might graciously go as a hit.
We had him on last year and talked about the gold medal and everything else, and I think that cements his presence into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. For sure. I mean, great man, great manager, obviously. A guy you wanted to run through a wall for, you know. I mean, the guy was just, for me, you know, he did a lot for me. I mean, and yeah, I don't have enough good things to say about him. I mean, the guy is incredible. I'm sure we'll still see him around.
I hope so. I met him once briefly in the elevator at PNC. And he was on his way to do other things, but he was very polite, shook hands, and I only had an elevator ride to talk to him about what glory he brought to Pirates baseball for me. And pretty soon we were at the floor where I had to leave, but it was regrettable because I wanted the elevator to stick. I don't think he did, but I did. It must have been fun when you won a championship with the Marlins.
Oh, yeah. It was an incredible experience. And you want to talk about a guy with emotion. You know, you're talking about you like guys that show the emotion and the passion. I mean, man, did he have some dandies with umpires, some run-ins, and some things in the clubhouse that can't be repeated, especially not here. But, yeah, he had a passion for it, and it was pretty remarkable what he did with that team, because there was such a wide variety of players and superstars and with the young guys. And, boy, he had them, whether it was Gary Sheffield or Rob Stanifer, whoever was on that team, he had everybody going in the right direction. And, man, it was a fun ride, obviously. And, boy, he managed his behind off. I mean, that was maybe the best I've ever seen that year.
That's a great point too about the fact that he took that collection of many superstars, but also the role players in '97 with the Marlins. But then last year, Doc, you talk about the guy that cements his legacy, winning the World Baseball Classic, when he picks guys off rosters from all over baseball, and the ball skips off the bare hand of Polanco to the second baseman Gordon for the out. But yeah, none better than the great Jim Leyland, that's for sure. Pirates leading the Twins 12-3.
AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Back here at Lecom Park on St. Patrick's Day 2018, the Pirates lead 12-3. Greg Brown along with Doc Emmerich and John Wehner, and Doc's statistician behind him on the games on the NBC Sports, Ben Boma, who spent some time in the Pirates front office many, many years ago up in the press box. Ben, check out the Tiki Bar, Ben, one of these days. You really should.
I think he'd be carded.
Probably.
Yeah.
Not with that hat.
Too young.
I think they'll give him a free, what do you get, a free free hat with that? New bowl of soup? Kevin Segrist. His third appearance since being signed by the Pirates, a minor league free agent deal, but most people believe that he has a real good shot of being on the club. The former Cardinal. Facing Brock Stassi. Segrist, a couple of scoreless innings, his first outing a week ago against the Orioles. Also pitched a scoreless inning with a couple of strikeouts on Thursday against the Yankees.
Doc, you brought up Olympics. Did you miss the Olympics? Not going?
I watched a lot of it because it was late at night or early in the morning, and there were times that I did miss it. Fortunately, there were some NHL games to do back here that were a lot of fun too.
Sure.
And so it was a tough choice to make, but the other side of it was that it's halfway around the world. It's a lot of travel, and the fortunate part of it was the NHL players were participating back here, so I could stay with them, and I got to be a part of for local people in Pittsburgh, the Penguins played in St. Louis, and it turned out to be the largest audience in the last 5 years for a regular season game on NBC that was not outdoors. So there were a lot of people that watched that game, and the Penguins did win it in St. Louis. Evgeny Malkin's had a wonderful year, and he showed it that day, and Sid had his milestone goal, and a lot happened that was good for Pittsburgh that day too. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you get in free, you get a good seat for the game like I do today, and twice a month they send you something in the mail. It's just it's marvelous, and you have to pinch yourself to remind yourself that you are actually working for a living. But this is just great sitting with you guys today. And I like the score, I guess. Am I allowed to say that?
Oh yeah,
I like the score
definitely.
a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I still am amazed by the gold medal game that you called. I don't know if it was how many years ago it was, and you got and you managed to mention the Pirates down in Bradenton during a gold medal game.
It was in 2010.
Incredible.
Well, I thought of you guys down here, and I heard, and it was Ben Boma who had tipped me off. I heard you guys were watching, so it seemed like an appropriate way to get in a mention of the fact that baseball was coming, and you were good examples of that. So thanks for watching. NBC appreciated your viewership that day.
That was I couldn't miss that one. I mean, that was the Sidney Crosby game winner.
Yes.
For Team Canada.
Doc manages, I think, just about every single game on NBC to get a Bucko mention in somehow, some way.
But surely
It is
not
so much
in a
fun.
gold medal game. I mean, that was incredible.
Well, it
The
just
streak will
happened to fall
continue. He's
during
not-
training camp.
Yeah.
It was your fault. There's one of my favorites. But we all have our biases. In a lopsided game, he's allowed to yawn.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pop up. Who's going to get there? Nobody. Pop up single for Garver. A ground ball up the middle and a pop up to shallow center puts runners at first and second. It's Kevin Segrist, and Jake Cave now will come to the plate. Segrist, the Buffalo, New York native, who to this day is a huge Bills and Sabres fan. Former 41st round pick of the St. Louis Cardinals out of a community college in Lake Worth, Florida, the other side of the state.
Oh, I guess I could do this in between innings, Greg, but there's a pizza establishment down the road here. It's run by a guy from Buffalo. I was in there the other night, and he's a huge Greg Brown fan. So I told him I'd let you know.
My gosh.
That you have to stop in. So somehow before spring training.
You know I will.
Yeah.
He's
You know,
going
I'll
to talk
stop by.
Bisons, Bills, Sabres.
I'm sure a big Bisons fan.
Yeah.
Well, then he'd know all about this guy to your right. 'cause that's
Tom
when I
Prince.
first met him.
Tom Prince. He's a huge fan of Tom Prince, and I told Princey that he needs to stop by too.
We'll make it a point. Strike 3 called on Jake Cave. In fact, Doc and I were talking about the passion of cities across the country for their sports teams, and Pittsburgh obviously among the best, but Buffalo is right up there, right?
Well, Pittsburgh's rewarded with championships.
Yes.
And Buffalo is not. And so as a result, they have to be very committed and very tenacious, and they are. And they turn out in great numbers to see the Sabres. And they are very loyal. And they spend hard-earned dollars to continue to come out. And I was glad that they at least got a reward with the Bills this year.
Yeah. Yep, there's encouraging signs for their Buffalo Bills. I just saw Tom Prince, a longtime Pirate coach, manager, now bench coach for the Bucks, and played in the system for many years. Chris Heisey lines out to left, 2 away.
That 1979 series that Kent Tekulve was so focal in, I missed because I was in the American League and we had games at night. And of course we were at night games in the World Series. Years later, Kent told me about Game 6 of the World Series, and of course he was well known as a submarine thrower. And he and Ed Ott, the catcher, had worked out a signal that if it was ever necessary, he would throw overhand. And of all things, in Game 6 of the World Series against Ken Singleton, the signal came. Who would have thought? And he said, in my major league career, I probably threw 10 of those. And I'm starting the story so that later on we can show you the video of what happened.
Wow.
Adam Elmore has dug it out.
goodness.
He has gone back into the archives. I had Kent retell the story this morning, so I made sure that I got it right. And the signal was a touch to the chest and a signal for an off-speed pitch. That was to tell him, okay, for sure, this means the overhand pitch. So we'll get to it.
Thanks to Ryan Wood back in Pittsburgh for helping with that research. Is Nick Gordon at the plate. So Teak, Kent Tekulve, the rubber band man, the submariner, the closer for the Pirates in the 70s and into the 80s, and then time with the Phillies. Actually did, on a rare occasion, throw a pitch overhand. And apparently in Game 6 of the World Series against the Orioles did just that. But we will need video proof.
And we will need a little time, which with runners on and 2 out, you know in the television business you never ambush your producer and director, let alone your audience.
But you can tease them.
Tease it?
Yes.
Kevin Segrist, who again, this is going to be certainly a new look bullpen. It was not a strength of the Pirates last year. It figures to be a strength this season. Neil Huntington went to work almost right away to try and improve that relief corps, and Segrist strikes out Gordon. Find out about this intriguing pitch to Ken Singleton in the World Series. That's it.
Now this is the normal pitch, and that was the 2-strike pitch to Singleton. And he gets the signal from Ott, and overhand, swing and a miss. And years later at various baseball card signings, whenever he sees Ken Singleton, Singleton asks, why me?
In the World Series, no less.
In Game 6, why me?
Now, did Teague say, Doc, because a little birdie told me that you were going to have that video and that you talked to, is it that Teague said something like, if Ed Ott in a World Series game is going to put that down for me to throw, he's got the guts to put it down. I've got the guts to throw it.
Yes.
Whoa, and Sean Rodriguez, we were talking about this earlier. Look at this blast. Hits the roof of the bleachers. His 4th home run of the spring. Greeting Jake Reed. Wow. Sean Rodriguez is becoming a story again here in spring training. The veteran leadership. Oh, look how high up that pitch was.
Up above the letters, that fastball, and he could turn it around. Gets every bit of it.
Jordan Luplow, an impressive home run in the 4th inning off starter Phil Hughes. Pirates just clobbering Twins pitching. Sean Rodriguez, again, his 4th home run of the spring. 13 on the board. So that was a wild piece of video to see Kent Tekulve throw overhand to Ken Singleton in Game 6 of the World Series.
That's amazing that you would have the guts to do something like that.
In retelling it this morning, I think his words were, if he's crazy enough to ask me to do it, I'm crazy enough to do it, but you might have had the direct quote correct.
Either way, crazy, courage, whatever you want to call it.
So now it's Game 7, and he comes out of the bullpen.
Luplow will be retired.
Bases loaded. Comes out of the bullpen, and Eddie Murray is at the plate.
A switch hitter, batting left-handed against Teague.
Yeah, and he takes his warm-up tosses, and Willie Stargell comes to the mound, and they have this conversation. Stargell said, bases loaded. You know that. And he said, yeah, I see orange at every base, yes. Eddie Murray's at the plate. Yes. He's a switch hitter. He's going to bat left-handed. Yes, I got that. Here's what we're going to do. And he said, if Willie Stargell's got a plan, I'm looking for a plan. I'm left-handed. You let me pitch. You play first. I'll get him out, and then we're set. And he said, I had to turn and face center field with my glove across my mouth because I was laughing. And he said that was what he wanted to do. He wanted to lighten up the situation, and it worked. And then I told him in no uncertain terms to get back to first base, and then that was it. And I got him out on a long fly ball on a slider.
As only Willie could. That is great. I always wondered what Willie had said to Teague.
Coffee.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. But, you know, Teague and Willie had such a great relationship. That family team of 1979. Talk about leadership. That Willie just kind of calming everything down with forcing a chuckle out of Kent Tekulve in that situation. A great story.
Anyone watching at home will realize and maybe appreciate what you guys allow me to do once a year. I get to hang around people that I admire so much and get to hear stories like this. And that one thing is what Fantasy Camp does allow you to do for a week too. And so this is my annual pitch for anybody that's ever dreamed of going to Fantasy Camp. Do it, because you'll never regret it. Even if you have your knee drained like I did during the week, you'll never regret it, and you'll remember it every day of your life after that. You have to be 30 or over, male or female, and Tekulve is still the commissioner. He rules with a benevolent dictatorship hand, and Steve Blass runs the kangaroo court every morning at, I believe, 9:30. And it's a great time.
Yeah, that.
And if you're lucky, you get to play for John Wayner as your manager.
Oh, yeah. Very lucky.
I was.
Did you get fined at all by Mr. Blass?
I
Ever?
did not, but there were
not.
several guys who did.
He tells me that he had to fine you a couple of times, so that we'll have to find out.
I think maybe he did.
Uh-huh.
I think I gave him some money in advance. And so
Take care of it early.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's a good
he
idea.
was able to draw on
That's
it.
a great idea. Well, Todd Cunningham draws the walk. He's on base for a second time, and just a miserable day for Twins pitching. Their new second baseman, Travis Blankenhorn, a minor leaguer, just charged with an error on that ground ball by Brents. Jake Reed is the fourth pitcher to work. A bunch of changes. Here comes Pablo Reyes. He hit a home run yesterday. Impressive, and a little bit of time that we have seen. John talked early about this guy. You look at him, doesn't look all that big, but he really packs a lot of punch. Wiry strong, as John likes to say. A guy like Pablo Reyes, a non-roster invitee this spring.
I got to ask him this morning about the pitch that he hit. The second pitch, he said the first one was fastball, and he said he tried to work me inside with another fastball, and I got it. I said, do you ever crank that?
He did. He crushed it. Played at Altoona last year, part of that Eastern League Championship team. Pablo Reyes, 24 years old, hit .274 for the curve, 10 homers, drove in 50. Toward the line and right, might be just foul.
I'll bet that down below the stands where they sell replicas, have you seen these? Replicas of all of the championship rings. Football,
That's
hockey.
wild, isn't it?
It is. They're replicas. I think they're around $50. But I'll bet there's a Marlins down there.
You would think so.
Yeah, I'll bet there is.
You would think so. Maybe two.
I saw a Mets, I saw a Jets, and several Dodgers, all in the possession of my brother yesterday. He was filling orders for people back home.
And
That's pretty well
Reyes
hit.
to left. Oh, nicely done there.
But they are kind of fun because they're enormous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Your championship ring, I'll bet, was at a time when they started to get really big.
Well, no, I mean, I thought it was somewhat normal. And then, I forget, we had a left-handed pitcher that was on the second World Series team with the Marlins and saw his. And that's when they were really big. It was literally twice the size of the ring from '97. It was, what was the second year they won, '03?
right.
Man, was it Redmond maybe? Left-handed pitcher?
Could have been,
I think
yeah.
it was Redmond. It was amazing. It's so obnoxious.
Well, they're not wearable, are they? Unless you're
Hardly,
going
yeah.
out to someplace really special.
Hardly,
they're
yeah.
not wearable. But they are fun for people to see.
Yes.
The legendary hockey player Jean Beliveau, who was on, I believe, had his name on the Stanley Cup 16 or 17 times, either as a player or as an executive, once told me that he didn't really like jewelry, but he said people like to see them. So he usually would wear one of his many Canadians rings because people like to see them, but they were very small back then. And at one point in hockey history, you didn't get a ring if you won a championship. You got a handshake, and if you wanted to pay for a ring yourself, you could go out and make one. But in the 50s, they didn't give them out, and now it's become a part of the tradition that you get one. And if you've ever seen one of the Penguins rings, they're enormous, just like John was talking about there. They're quite large, and some of them now get second rings that are wearable that
that.
are
It's
a
got to
lot
that
smaller
point.
because the other one is a trophy. It's
Yes.
presented in a trophy case.
Christopher Bostic pinch hitting will be the final out of the sixth, but Sean Rodriguez hit the home run. No relation to Danny Rodriguez, our production coordinator up north. He's down here at Lee Com with wife Leah and son Lewis on St. Patty's Day.
Three Buccos here as we hit the 7th inning. Francisco Cervelli and gang signing a bunch of autographs. Probably the most fan-friendly time of year here at spring training when guys are able to access the fans pretty easily here. And large reason it is 13-3 is this guy right here. This is Jordan Luplow, who made his big league debut last season in San Diego. What's it like being in spring training this year, given that you've already been a big leaguer?
It's good. You know, I know the guys a little more on a personal level, and I get to learn more information from the veteran guys, and they've been really helping me out.
You know, last year, kind of a storybook year for you. You started the season in Double-A. You weren't even a big league camp, and yet you're making your big league debut in front of your family and friends in California last year at Petco Park. What was that experience like when you look at the 2017 season?
You know, it was great. I have to thank my family and friends for being behind me, and the whole Pittsburgh Pirates organization and the fans. They've been great to me. Yeah, I'm just really blessed that I got the opportunity.
You know, and you got a chance today, the opportunity to get your Altoona Curve championship ring. It was a brief time for you at Double-A last year, but what was it like?
It was great, man. I've came up with those guys since we got drafted. It was kind of our draft class, so you know, we've built a special bond over the years, and you know, that's a really fun team.
You know, when you look at yourself, how much more comfortable, where is your comfort level this year as opposed to where it was a year ago? Not knowing where you may start the season, but given that you hit the top, the pinnacle of anyone's career and becoming a big leaguer.
Yeah, again, I just have to thank all my teammates and coaches for, you know, giving me the opportunity and helping me along the way. You know, the ups and downs, you know, they've been there day in and day out.
You know, a lot of guys, hello, Bryce Brent's walking by, waving everybody back home. How much pride do you take in making a tough decision for management with what to do with the roster?
You know, honestly, I just show up every day and try to better myself. That's out of my control. You know, I'm big on controlling the controllables. And, you know, good thing that's not up to me. It's their hard decision. You know, we got a lot of great players in our organization. So I just show up every day and work hard.
How about today? You hit a couple moon shots. One went off the center field batter's eye. I mean, did that ball look like a beach ball to you this afternoon or what?
Yeah, you know, Sean Rod did a great job right before me battling that at bat and getting on base and, you know, not giving in. And I think that gave me the opportunity to get a good pitch to hit.
How about just overall? I mean, a lot of guys dream of becoming a big leaguer. You start the season in Double-A. What were your thoughts when you were leaving spring training last year?
I'm just trying to work my way up, you know, get better every day and, you know, try and win a ring with whatever team I was in.
And certainly you did that. How about Francisco Cervelli? How much fun is he to work with day in and day out?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's a great guy. A lot of love advice over here.
And you get a kiss on the hat.
Yeah. You know, he's great with the ladies. He helps me out.
There you go. All right, well, Jordan, congratulations. I know it was a great season for you last year, and congratulations and best wishes as we start 2018.
Hey, thank you, Robert.
Guys, how about that? Jordan Luplow, what a storybook year it was for him last year.
No doubt. Double A, a little bit of time Triple A, and was a teammate of that man last year at Altoona. Elvis Escobar just made a tremendous catch, one of the best catches we have seen this spring. That was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, just
my gosh.
a great jump and full speed.
Wow.
Timed it perfectly. That's impressive.
Gregorio Petit follows Nick Buss. The starters are out of there, both clubs. Great catch. Elvis Escobar, minor leaguer. Edgar Santana was in the minor leagues for a time last year, but made his major league debut. Spent some time with the Pirates. "19 games for the Pirates last year with a .350 ERA for Edgar Santana. Breaks the bat. Gregorio Petit, and he has a 1-2-3 inning, thanks in large part to the great catch by Elvis Escobar. 13-3 Buccaneers.
Either one of them. No, that was you.
In a special edition of Inside Pirates Baseball, we give you an inside look at spring training, direct from the players themselves. We had our mics on Ivan Nova, Stephen Bro, Felipe Rivero, Sean Rodriguez, and first base coach Camara Barte to bring you Inside Pirates Baseball. Spring Mic Up. Tune in tonight at 6:30 p.m.
It should be fun. Jacob Stallings, first at bat, takes a strike.
I should have reread that. I hit those pronunciations cold.
Well, you did fine with them.
No.
Yes, you did.
It was a B.
No. Not sure. I didn't realize whether I wasn't certain that Camara Barte was over at first base. He has coached third on occasion. Joey Cora going over to minor league camp at Pirate City, and Omar Moreno, speaking of that 79 team, the great base stealer and former Pirates center fielder, has occupied that first base coaching box. But Joey Cora showing those stockings, many of the players wearing the stockings on St. Paddy's Day. They don't have the green bases this season.
No.
This year. They usually do that. I wonder why. Wearing green caps, both teams. Jake Reed's second inning. Jacob Stallings facing this right-hander. Stallings, another fine spring.
The note of the day was the Irish player, that the most recent one of which was in the early part of the 20th century.
Do you think that was the note of the day?
I thought so, yes.
Well, you know,
What was his name?
Well, that was Patty O'Connor.
Yes.
We're talking about the last Pirate Irishman who played for the Pirates parts of 3 years, 1908 to 1910, covering 36 at bats. But I think the best Irish story was the one that Jason Steele, our associate producer, mentioned between innings about Joe Fire Cleary from County Cork. He was the last Irishman to appear in a major league game. He pitched 1/3 of an inning for the Washington Senators, August 4th, 1945, struck out a man, but gave up 7 runs against the Boston Red Sox and holds the record for the highest earned run average of any pitcher who retired at least a batter.
Poor guy. What is it?
189. He relieved that day, August 4th, 1945. He relieved Bert Shepard, who was also playing and would turn out to be his only major league game. Bert Shepard, the only one-legged player in major league history. 5 1/3 innings, 1 run, 3 hits.
Wow.
He had been shot down over Germany during World War II. He was an Army fighter pilot and had his leg amputated. He had been a minor league pitcher before the war, and he came back and was driven to return to not only pitching in the minor leagues, but maybe in a major league game, and he did that day. He relieved Joe Cleary, the last Irish-born player to pitch or play in a major league game. That might be the note of the day.
Yeah, I guess
Jason,
so.
Jason
yes.
Steele, thanks
At
for
least
that.
they gave him a chance.
Yes.
Well, Doc, you're up there with knowing how many at bats Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, that's true. That
I mean,
That was because I had 6 days, and you guys were working every day. I had 6 days to look this over and come up with things like that. But I just thought it was odd because I'm always interested in what pitchers bat, especially guys that have been around a long time.
Weiss goes down. His first at bat, Eric Weiss. Now Eric Wood for the Bucks.
The Osprey nest is still there this year. In right center field, it's still there.
It's comforting to know it is still there,
It
isn't it?
is, yes.
Those things are fascinating, and there's one up there.
Yeah,
He's up there. Look at that.
It's like every year you look to see when you come in the park the first time, and I missed it yesterday. That was my first trip back. I forgot about it.
huge.
We're working on a meal up there right now.
They don't care for pizza, I don't think, do they? Stop by your Buffalo fan?
Probably. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Probably not.
Saw my first eagle out in the wild.
Where?
By the golf course. Just
Here?
just flying over. Incredible. And I have there's another witness, Adam Elmore, was with me. So incredible. Flew right over us.
Wow.
Yeah.
None on your scorecard.
No.
Good year for the
no
Eagles.
chance.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Eric Wood at the plate. 95, he goes down.
Pirates fans, spring training is here, and on MLB.tv, watch select games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply for regular season games. That means we have attorneys. Visit MLB.tv for details.
You betcha. New pitcher coming on here for the Twins. Pirates comfortably in front. 13-3. Spring training ball from Bradenton. today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. A.J. Schugel, part of the bullpen last couple years for the Pirates. He's been out since February 25th, right shoulder discomfort. Started playing catch this past Wednesday, but he will begin the year on the disabled list. We'll talk about that Pirates bullpen. It will look different with some new pitchers. Some veterans like a Kevin Segrist, like a George Contos. Jacob Stallings at second base with 2 outs. Max Moroff gets his first at bat of the day against Colton Davis. Moroff a .261 hitter this spring. 6 out of 23 with a homer. And he crushed that home run. Moroff saw his first big league action last year. Did have 2 at-bats a couple seasons back, but extended look last year, 56 games. Switch hitter. Another one of those guys in competition for that final spot among position players, but again, another one of those players that Pirates more than likely going to feel he and the team better served if he's playing every day. Grew up in Winter Park, still lives in the central part of the state.
He's just 24. It seems like we've seen him in this role now for 3 springs. Always right on the cusp.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have guessed he was older than that.
Yeah.
Just 24.
And he packs a punch.
Yeah.
Max Moroff, for a guy who's listed maybe graciously at 5'10". He said he really went to work to get stronger this off season. Probably gained 10 pounds of muscle. Hit 13 home runs at AAA Indy in just 51 games. Well, he is a strikeout victim. He doesn't realize it yet. But that's a veteran umpire over there, Tom Hallion, and when it's a spring training game in the 7th inning and it's 13-3, sorry, Max. 13-3 Bucks.
What are you saying?
You know what I'm saying. You know it. And on Sunday, bring the whole family when all kids 14 and under receive a Pirates Rally Towel. Head to Pirates.com for your tickets today. 13-3. There is Phil Cuzzy. He is the home plate umpire today. Max Moroff.
Allegedly in a hurry.
Yeah, Max Moroff. Did he check his swing? He believes he did. He'll just drop the bat, turn his back, and head to first. But no. Tom Hallion brings him up. That's commonplace among veteran umpires in Arizona and Florida in spring training. So a second inning of work for Edgar Santana.
I'm shocked. You mean they do that?
They do that. They don't do that in the NHL?
That's why I'm shocked.
Taylor Featherston is now batting.
Oh,
wow. A lot of movement on those pitches from Edgar Santana, 26-year-old from the Dominican. Pretty good work last year, especially when he was able to throw strikes. Struck out 20 in 18 innings.
When there are a lot of low numbers in somebody's stats, all of a sudden I start reading a little more because it is fine print.
Yeah.
In his first 17 appearances with Indianapolis, he had a 0.36 ERA.
That'll get your attention.
That
right?
did. Yeah, I underlined that one. It's a very good start at AAA for him last year.
And was kind of late to the party, wasn't he, Johnny? The guy that didn't pitch until later on in life. Dominican, who's now 26. First started pitching in the States 2015.
Yeah, it's really a remarkable story.
Yeah.
Good arm, good slider. But I can't imagine having this kind of success for a guy that didn't play baseball most of his childhood.
Yep. It's quite a find. Down on strikes, down to Robbie we go.
Yeah, so guys, Eric Weiss is here at third base here for the Buccos, and he played for a legendary college baseball coach, Augie Garrido. He passed away Thursday at the age of 79. Augie won 5 national titles, 2 of them at the University of Texas. And Eric Weiss played for Garrido 3 years at Texas, and he told me it was always a dream of his as a kid to play for Augie. He watched the Longhorns, and that's all he ever wanted to do growing up. He said Augie was a teacher more than a coach. He learned how to win, how to play hard, but also he learned how to win at life from his legendary baseball coach. Augie is the winningest coach in college baseball history. Guys, how about that?
1,975 wins for Augie Garrido. And as Robbie said, 5 national championships, the 2 at Texas and 3 at Cal State Fullerton, and took his teams to 15 College World Series. Wow. Made an impact on a lot of players and coaches. TCU is honoring Augie Garrido this weekend as they play Minnesota. The Horned Frogs, under the direction of their coach, Jim Schlossnagel, that they're having the Longhorn logo and Garrido's initials painted onto the mound. Importance of college coaches, college athletics, and what an example UBMC was last night of what you can accomplish.
That was amazing.
UMBC, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. There's a drive off the bat of the new catcher, Williams Astudillo. First time ever that a number 16 seed beat a number 1. And they didn't just beat him with a buzzer beater the last second. They crushed Arizona, didn't they?
It wasn't even close. No, but
Man.
you kept expecting when you got into the second half that Virginia would mount a comeback at some point in time.
Right.
UPMC kept putting it on them.
I wonder if NASA could notice the warmth going up from planet Earth from all of the torched brackets after that game.
Man.
Yeah.
Levi Michael at the plate.
It was Jordy Mercer who I think was not saying, but saying that he felt it was crooked because Oklahoma State wasn't in.
His team, yeah.
And everybody has somebody,
Oh,
right?
yes. Oh, yeah. Jordy continues to root for his Cowboys. And they didn't get into the tourney. And a strikeout, but Michael is going to reach on the wild pitch. So we'll extend this inning. I was looking to see if there were any former big leaguers who had ever attended the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Again, the team that upset Arizona last night in the tournament. And Jay Witasek and Wayne Franklin. Rock, I think you must have faced one of those guys in the past, wouldn't you have? Witasek? Maybe not.
I don't remember. What years did they?
I think Witasek was 90s, early 2000s.
And Wayne Franklin?
And Zach Clark was the other. I think Zach Clark pitched in one game. I think Wayne Franklin pitched for the Brewers for a time. The Astros, when they're in the National League 2000, 2001, then the Brewers, Giants, Yankees, and Braves. Wayne Franklin, the left-hander. So former retrievers in the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, for a 16 seed, they were impressive. Athletic. Played defense.
Doc, how about, does anything come to mind in terms of upsets over your hockey career that really might stand out? Just unexpected.
Well,
It's a hard thing to ask, I know.
No, I don't think anybody gave the Kings a chance when they were in the last 2 weeks of the season. They weren't even in the top 16. They scrapped in, made the playoffs, and won the whole thing.
Oh, there you go.
And it can happen, and that's why that sage walk still stands as credible.
That's right.
In hockey.
That's right.
And maybe in baseball.
Yep, that's right. Just get in the tournament.
See, he's oblivious to all of this over there.
Yeah.
See? He's staring across here. Can we get him to look? No.
Lewin Diaz, and this is going to be a fair ball. So poor Edgar Santana. A strikeout, wild pitch, and then a double to bring home a run.
And there was one other team in Vancouver in the early 1980s and 1982 that had a losing record in the regular season but got to the final before they were swept by the New York Islanders during the Islander glory years of the early 80s. But it was noteworthy because how do you have a losing record in the season and you're that good? Well, you catch fire at the right time. You make it and you catch fire. So on a rare occasion, it happens.
And they say that about baseball too. Neil Huntington has said that time and time again. Sometimes the teams at the end that get into what they consider now a tournament almost, because you have the two wild card teams, but just get in, and if you're healthy, the healthiest and hottest teams can go deep into the postseason. Now, it takes a lot of luck to win that one-game wild card. That's a flip of the coin. As Ray Searage makes a trip to the mound. And Logan Sendelball is loosening in the Pirates bullpen. One of the minor leaguers over from Pirate City. Do you play all the fantasy camp games here, Doc, or do you play Pirate City?
Mostly Pirate City.
Oh, you do?
Now, when I was here, they allowed us to play one game here.
Okay.
And I was ailing, but the skipper put me in the lineup. He let me hit, not field, but he let me hit. And my first at bat went into right field on a single bounce, and that was a lifetime memory for me.
Kirk Gibson, like John Wayner, calls on Doc Emmerich, despite the fact that nobody expected him to play that game. You got him out of the trainer's room. What made you think that Doc would be the go-to guy there, John?
Steroids.
Oh, well.
We've had this discussion before. I mean, he couldn't hit a thing, couldn't catch a thing, had the knee, got it drained, got some steroids, and he went off. Just like he couldn't make it out.
It's true.
It's true.
No, it's true.
Wow.
It's certified.
I mean,
the hero.
Yeah, he was the MVP after the first couple of days. You know, I was questioning my decision about him leadoff after, you know, he went 0 for 12. Then I found out he was banged up, so we sent him to the right doctor.
Uh-huh.
And then you couldn't get him out.
That's our Allegheny Health Network injury update.
Yeah.
Our second one of the game. This
ineligible
one we go back
for the
in
Hall of
time.
Fame.
Yeah.
Because it's been admitted publicly.
Yeah. What they used to do, I don't remember how that worked, but it used to be you played all the games over at Pirate City, and you know there were 2 games a day. It seemed like you have a tryout, like everybody goes and works out, and then you survey the talent. You're kind of like all the instructors, coaches, managers, or scouts, and you try to figure out who can play and who can't. You have a draft, and then they play a bunch of games over at Pirate City. And then you get into the playoffs, and then there's the championship. And then the last day you play against the staff, the former Pirates. And it used to be over here. You'd play 3-inning games. And what's there, 8 teams? So 24 innings for the staff and the former big leaguers. So you'd play each team three innings. So and so that was fun.
And the frightening thing was that Blast could still bring it.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Oh
It's
yeah.
remarkable. It's remarkable.
It was scary to bat against him. I didn't have the
kidding.
chance because I had to leave for the All-Star game, the hockey game, and I didn't get a chance to bat against him. But guys that did said, "Whew."
No
It's
kidding.
amazing. He is a freak of nature.
Wow.
I say it all the time. The guy, he's ageless. Watching him pitch, there was one time. The one I'm gonna. Riley, he's an FBI agent. And he came up there and he was facing Blast and he was horsing around and he squared the bunt. Blast got the next ball and reared back and hit him right between the numbers.
Really?
Right between the numbers. Thunk. And threw it hard.
Wow.
And yeah, and so
the competitor came out of him.
Oh my goodness, great! But he dominated. Well, that was the neatest thing about that is like I did 3 or 4 of them, and you know. The first one, Maz was still playing, and Bill Verdon would play, and to see these guys, and the fantasy campers always enjoyed playing against the legends, and you know, and man, they could still hit, they could still, didn't matter how old everybody was. It was pretty impressive to see the alumni and how well they could hit and how well they could play the game. There were some teams that thought they were pretty good, and then they'd come and play the alumni and get drilled. Shutout after shutout. John Smiley was down here one year, just a couple of years after he finished his career, and he was throwing like 90. He mowed through the 9, and I think they liked that. The fantasy campers liked that because it was like watching a big league pitcher.
Deep to right. Oh, nice grab. Chris Sharp, one of the minor leaguers. So the 2 corners, we saw Elvis Escobar make a sensational diving catch last inning. And here Chris Sharp up from Pirate City and minor league camp. He goes deep into the corner.
Yeah, watch how far he has to go. You see where he's at there. I mean, that's a good 50, 60-yard sprint, it seemed like. Nice little route. Knew where the fence was. Gets the ball in a hurry.
Sharp played his first pro action last year in the New York Penn League for the Pirates organization. New pitcher coming on.
It's Ram Truck Month.
Three Rivers, John Lieber offers a long drive, and it is gone. I don't believe what I just saw. It was John Wayner, and it turns out to be the last home run hit at Three Rivers Stadium. A good one. What did he send you there?
Fastball. Fastball in. Yeah, it was something else. There was about 60,000 that couldn't believe what they just saw.
Oh, of course, I was just kidding you.
Yeah.
But the thing that is remarkable to me, not only that being the last home run there, but also the remarkable stretch that you had in the field.
Which also ended that day.
It did?
Yep.
99 consecutive games without an error at third base, which was a record that you held by yourself for a long time. Shared now. It doesn't matter who you share it with.
Jeff Cirillo.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you filled it in.
Yeah, that was something else. That was a magical day. It was pretty neat.
Fastball in.
Fastball in. Yep. He threw me a breaking ball the previous at bat that I just missed. I flew out to the wall. I hit it off the end of the bat. And so he was working me away, and for whatever reason, I thought he'd throw me in on that particular pitch, and he did.
Well, we happen to have an example of your fielding, too.
Oh.
In your career, in 11 years, 635 chances, and in all that time, only 15 errors. Only 15.
Look at this. He takes that
That's
throw.
slick.
I mean, just perfectly from the pitcher. Smooth.
5-4-3.
Yeah.
Pretty routine
Look
stuff.
at this. Not routine there. We don't have time to show you the one that wasn't routine, but man, you took that throw from the pitcher perfectly on that pickoff. Mark Wilkins, I think, picked off that base runner.
The Pirates and Indiana University knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Pirates Spring Training, live from Florida. Be there from the start on AT&T Sportsnet.
We're back here at Lecom Park, and a strike is called on this minor league outfielder, Elvis Escobar. Pirates well out in front, and this, like so many of these spring training games, is a situation where players that will not be on the Pirates at the start, and in many cases even through the season, getting an opportunity to play in a big league game. That's the case with Elvis Escobar, and he just made last inning a great diving catch. Just as we were sending it to break, we saw a great diving stop by John Wayner at Three River Stadium, a man who appreciates great defense, the Rock, and we certainly got a kick out of watching Elvis Escobar make that diving catch. Escobar, parts of the last 2 seasons with the Curve, played in 92 games 2 years ago here in Bradenton with the Marauders. The Venezuelan draws the walk.
There's actually a lot of players that come over here that will never get to the big leagues.
Right.
You know, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
There was an old teammate of mine named Mike Heiler that came over here and got a late at bat, a spring training game, and hit like an extra inning walk-off grand slam.
Oh my gosh, were you here to see it?
Yes.
Oh,
and he got released like a week later.
Oh my goodness.
You know, maybe just a few days after that.
Oh.
And he's a guy that ended up never making it to the big leagues. But that was a memorable moment.
Chris Sharp made that nice catch in right field. Another one of these minor league players, and drives one toward right center. And then a catch for the first out. Yeah, you never know with these younger players, these minor leaguers, if they'll ever taste the big leagues. More often than not, they won't. The lower minors. And in Sharp's case, you know, you hope. But a guy drafted by the Pirates in the 14th round last year, so just getting his pro career started. Adrian Valerio.
What a story he would have, though, Rock. Unlike Moonlight Graham, you know, he got to the show once.
Yeah.
And boy, did he ever do something.
I know. And that may have been, I don't think he's ever been to a big major league spring training camp. It may have been his only at bat in a big league game, even though a spring training game.
Huh.
How about what the Pirates did last year, wasn't it, in Miami when their catcher, they were in dire straits, in need of a catcher. They called over to here, Pirate City minor league camp, and said, you know, get a catcher over here for a backup. And so they called John Borman over. Been playing for the Marauders, and he got, because it was a lopsided game late, this is a major league game, he got that one at bat.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was an amazing story. See if he makes his way over this spring.
Well, he was on the extra roster sheet yesterday. Whether that will be his only opportunity. Wild pitch will move the runner. Escobar at second. It's Adrian Valerio is at the plate.
What would you guess the number of days are before the last decisions are going to be made?
Boy, there have been times we've gone north without the.
Was that right?
Yeah, I mean, especially if we've had exhibition games. Last year we played Toronto up in Montreal. I don't recall if all the decisions were made or not. for years we were going to Philly, and I know there was a couple of times we went to Philly without exhibition games in Philly where we didn't have the final roster set. Typically, they like to have it set before you break camp. Although you may carry an extra player or two in case of an injury or who knows what, but you'd think they would let the players know their intentions before you break camp. But it could go all the way up until a day or two before you leave, I would think.
Hopefully it is set before that workout in Detroit prior to the opener on the 28th as Pablo Reyes grounds out. We are going to the 9th. Last chance for the Twins. They need a bunch.
Sportsnet is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We'll beat anybody's price. Find out more at barrel.com. Let's go Bucks!
And our Pirates spring training coverage continues tomorrow. The Bucks welcome the Boston Red Sox to Lecom Park. Nesson Steve Lyons will join Joe and John. That should be an interesting broadcast, so join us starting at 1 for that one right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Joe Block, John Wehner, and Steve Lyons.
The Osprey will be here.
Yes.
Or maybe more.
That's
I
true.
only noticed one. Did you?
I only noticed one. Noticed the buzzards circling, and soon the Seagulls will be here for their dinner.
Tyler Jones, 6-4, 4.38 ERA. This is his 7th appearance this spring. And he's been a road warrior at Tampa, so at Port Charlotte, at Lakeland, at Fort Myers, at Sarasota, at Orlando, at Clearwater. First appearance here at Lecom.
Wow. A non-roster invitee. Tyler Jones signed as a minor league free agent. 11th round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers in 2011. The Twins, rather, in 2011. Yep. Nap time.
Rest up. Big night tonight.
Yeah. By the time this one ends, we actually, John, might be able to get back onto the island. This is the big Sean Murphy Beach Bistro Parade Day, I believe.
What time does that start? Or end?
I think 4. I don't know when it ends, but I know they. Have you seen that one before?
I have
He
not.
brings the elephants.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Camels,
Camels.
all on the island. There's one out.
Most Irish parades have those.
I would assume.
Sure, why not? By the way, we were talking about the 1979 season. Kent Tekulve. Doc showed Teak throwing overhand in Game 6. Bob Skinner was the hitting coach then, and his son, Joel Skinner, who was drafted by the Pirates many years ago, has been a long time now member of the Twins minor league coaching staff, and there is Joel Skinner. And his dad, Bob, the former Pirate, still going strong at 86. Joel Skinner. A pretty good big league career in his own right. So family ties.
And
everywhere.
Former third base coach Joe Lynette.
His
Barb here,
yeah,
huh?
The late Joe Lynette, his daughter Barb, got a chance to see Joel Skinner. Her dad was on that coaching staff with Chuck Tanner, 1979. It's great to see Doc and Rock, what the Pirates have done over the last several years to bring in guys like Teak and Rennie Stennett and Bill Mazeroski and so many others. Steve Blass as guest instructors to let the current crop of Pirates see the legacy. Omar Moreno. Two outs. And speaking of legends and the legacy, we can't thank you enough again, Doc. Your day off. Dan, his brother, is here also.
This was fun.
Really,
this was
we
fun.
just had a blast.
I hope you didn't mind too much. This was a lot of fun today.
This was
it's always
perfect.
fun to be around
We
you
got a
guys.
nice long game too.
Yeah.
So we fat and reminisce. And
Yeah.
Bob Skinner brings back a lot of memories from that first team that I ever followed in 1959, and got to see him in left field at Wrigley Field the first game I ever saw, August 9th.
Something you'll never forget,
No,
obviously.
I still have the scorecard.
Sheesh.
Elroy Face got his 15th win in relief. Ernie Banks had a homer, and Forrest Burgess was very important that game with an extra inning double.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge.
Smoky.
Yeah. Those are all a part of the great memories that you have one season to the next.
Yeah.
And what James Earl Jones said on those bleachers out in Iowa just sort of rolls along each year, and I'm glad that I'm able to be a part of it with you guys once a year. It's a lot of fun. So thank you.
Well, again, on behalf of all Pirate fans and Penguin fans watching today, thank you. It is such a treat for us. Such an honor. And we look forward to hearing and watching you, hopefully deep, once again in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Penguins, and that'll do it.
They had them all the way.
Yes, sir. 13-5. A lengthy one here at Lecom, but the Pirates knocked the ball around for a second straight game. And Clint Hurdle, his philosophy might very well be, since he rested all but one of his starters. Francisco Cervelli did start behind the plate, but maybe he's going to start tomorrow with that lineup the rest of the way. And don't forget, tickets for that home opener Monday, April the 2nd against these Twins available at PNC Park. You can go to Pirates.com, and don't forget tomorrow, the Bucks and the Sox right here at Lecom. For John, Rock, and Doc, thanks so much for being with us again. A big thank you to Doc Emmer. 13-5, Pirates beat the Twins.